championship, dude. You can draft it, you can buy it, you can trade for it. Just win, baby.
The OnSide Zone.
You're not Aladdin rubbing the lamp and then Will Smith comes out and you ask him, hey, fix our dolphin problems. And there he goes. No, I'm sorry. It'd be nice if it was that easy, but it's not.
You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The OnSide Zone with a big O.
All right. All righty. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Time to rock and roll and have a little fun on the show. Hope you all had a great weekend. I thought it was a fantastic weekend overall, I got to say. Alex, I don't know, you may want to adjust the camera a little bit because it's cutting off the top of my head there. May want to lift it up a little bit there and get that corrected. But yes, we got it going on. It's a beautiful Monday. No, I think you went too high there. Hold it there, and then I'll tell you where it's at once it stops moving there. But anyway, so a great weekend overall. A lot of things went on. We had the draft, the Heat, the Marlins, the Panthers, Inter Miami, all kinds of good stuff. I think you got it there. Let's see. It hasn't finished readjusting. I'm sure you're making people all kinds of I guess their eyes are going crazy there. Let me see. It's getting all readjusted there. YouTube. I'm moving all over the place. And we'll see when it settles down. But it looks like the way you set it up that it might be just right. There you go. It's a beautiful thing. Nice job, Alex. All right, so we got a lot of things to talk about today. Obviously, the draft will be front and center because that was the biggest thing that happened over the weekend. We will, of course, take your phone calls if you want at 888-441-4623. The text line, 844-416-8123. Those of you on YouTube, you can always chime in and send in your questions. Don't forget to smash that like button. That is extremely important when you're watching. And you know, listen, let me take a moment to thank all of the listeners and supporters and everybody that really cares about OnSideRadio.com and obviously our future. You showed up on Thursday night to Sports Grill on Bird Road. Thank you for showing up on Friday night to Sports Grill on Bird Road. And thank you also for showing up on Sunday at Dangerous Minds Brewing, which we'd like to pick that one up and get more people out there. And I know that it's a little different when soccer compared to football and basketball, but we got to get to that point. So Brooklyn Rob, by the way, thank you for showing up over at Dangerous Minds. But thanks to all of you out there for joining us over the weekend. We had 3 different live remotes. Listen, no sports station in town has one. So we weren't hiding in a cave somewhere, doing some bootleg virtual crap. We were out on the bar. We were out with Doll fans, high-fiving, taking pictures, all that good stuff. It's nice to be vaccinated, by the way. And so it's nice to kind of, get a little bit of your life back a little bit. That was the fun part about this weekend is seeing more people, and that was actually really, really cool. It was one of those experiences that you cherish and you haven't been able to do in a long time. And so it was cool to be able to do that over this weekend. So once again, thank you all. Our next live appearance will be in a couple weeks when we're back at Dangerous Minds Brewing in Pompano for the Inter Miami game. So look forward to seeing a lot of you out there. Their next 2 games are home, actually, next Sunday and next Wednesday. They'll be home. Atlanta and Montreal, I believe it is. The 2 home teams will be playing on a Wednesday night. Because obviously Montreal is calling Fort Lauderdale home this season because of the COVID issues. So we got a bunch of things to talk about today. First of all, we'll start off with the draft. And listen, I mean, I kind of talk about this all the time. Most of you know what I'm about to talk about. And it's like, the people that gave up on two after their first year, and it's like you're judging a player after their first year, and especially that kid with a hip injury and all that. Gesicki, people gave up on Gesicki in their first year. And so giving a draft grade right now is a silly thing that we do. It really makes no sense. But I do it anyway because I know a lot of you will ask me, on the text line, on the email, on a DM, on a Facebook post, whatever, and you're asking me, hey, what do you think about the draft? What's your grade? That kind of stuff. And if I have to give it a grade, I'm going to give it an A-. I really like this draft. I thought they did an outstanding job, and I thought that they got really good players, and they filled major needs. The Jalen Waddle pick, listen, we told you for a while that it was going to be Pitts, Chase, and Waddle would be the third guy. And I told you guys, I prepared you guys, I said that when they made that move, they had three options. What those options were, well, we knew Chase and Pitts were probably two of those. What was the third option? Some of you thought it was Devonta Smith. Some people thought it was Jalen Waddle. Some people thought it was Penei Sewell, maybe a little less. But some did think it might have been Penei Sewell after those two, because I saw people, no, if Pitts and Chase are off the board, you got to go Penei Sewell. So they end up going Jalen Waddle, and I love the pick. The kid's a player and a half. You needed speed. You needed people that can get separation. This isn't a league where, when I was a kid, the corner is mauling the receiver downfield all the way. Hands all over, this and that, allowing you both to fight for the football, those kind of things. That's not this league anymore. This isn't the league that Ronnie Lott is patrolling to knock your head off, or Brian Dawkins, or Steve Atwater, or whatever other name you want to come up with of a nasty defensive back that was known to just rip your head off. Louis Oliver, that kind of stuff. And so that league is gone now, okay? And Jalen Waddle is one of those guys that is going to create so much separation that it just will be a problem for defenses and defensive backs to get a hold of this kid, just like Will Fuller, okay? And Will Fuller's issues haven't been, remember, they're neither guy is a big guy. But what's Will Fuller's issues? That he gets hit? That he gets knocked out of games? No, hamstring. It's not that he gets, walloped by defensive backs and all. They can't catch him. They can't catch this guy either. Like I said over the weekend, the Dolphins went from having the slowest pair of wide receivers in the NFL, or wide receiving group, to now the fastest pair of wide receivers in the NFL. Think about that. Yeah, there's Tyreek Hill out there, and other teams may have one speed guy, all that. Miami's got two now, in Waddle and Fuller. And so now you've got two guys that can absolutely burn it downfield. And so that's why I'm telling you that, this is enormous for Miami. And the Waddle move with Gesicki, and I know they added the Hunter Long kid, which he looks like an intriguing play. Look, they had him at the Senior Bowl all week, so we'll get to that. But the receiving core has completely changed, and it has an incredible trickle-down effect that is absolutely awesome. Because now Fuller and Waddle will be your top guys along with Gesicki. So now this puts Parker, this puts Preston in a role where they can be more complementary than you demanding them to be the guy because you don't have anybody else. So now with these guys on the field creating all kinds of havoc, I just think it's really going to create a nice combination for Miami. And Tua, who I expect to take a huge step this year because he's going to be fully healthy, physically ready now to do what he has to do. And I know he's smart, and I know he works hard, and I know that he knows how to decipher defenses. So I'm not worried about any of those other things that sometimes you got to worry with Trey Lance. Does Trey Lance understand all those defenses at this level? You know what I mean? There's a period that you have to go through with Trey Lance to kind of get him ready to play that position. Tua doesn't need that. Tua's ready to go. He's ready to play. The only thing he needed was his body to get back to where it was, and it should be this year now. And so I expect Tua to have a monster year with those receivers out there. He's going to have, a pretty cool combination to make plays. And the other thing I like about the receiving core is he's got the burners. He's got the athletic tight end. Looks like he's got another tight end, too, in Hunter Long that can get out there on the open field, too, and has good hands and is a better blocker also, it looks like, than Gesicki. So you got yourself two tight ends. Gesicki's a really, athletic tight end. And then you've got the big bodies in Parker and in Preston. And the beauty of Parker and Preston now is they will no longer see double teams anymore. If they're on the field with Jalen Waddle and Will Fuller the fifth, defenses will be worried more about those two guys now than Parker and Preston. So Preston and Parker will end up with single coverage. They will end up with the third corner now. It's pretty cool. Or if you end up with the second corner because you're on the outside, then Jalen Waddle's going to get the nickel back and see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. So everything changes in the passing game now compared to what was. And remember, last year you had a young line that didn't give Tua the proper amount of protection and time that he really needed. So now you hope that this young line has grown up a little bit more and they're better this year. But guess what? Tua will be better this year. Why is Tua going to be better this year? Not just because physically he's all right, but now he has two guys that he doesn't have to wait for them to get open. They will get open right away. Right off the line of scrimmage, they will create some kind of separation for some kind of a slant, for some kind of a dig, for something, for a bow out, whatever, you name it. A nine route right away. They'll get behind defenses and he'll be able to find them right away. So he won't have to wait for somebody to get open back there. He's going to have options quickly. And that will make him better. That will make the offensive line better. That will make the offense better. So when you really look at the selection of Jalen Waddle, it does so many things. And then the other thing is, some of you out there think that Jakeem Grant's going to get cut right away. I don't believe that. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I actually think Jakeem Grant now becomes more valuable now because Jakeem Grant doesn't have to play wide receiver. You don't need him anymore. You just need him to be a returner. And he's one of the best returners in the NFL. And he doesn't fumble while he's returning. The drops he's had has been as a receiver. Doesn't really happen that much at all in special teams. And so maybe you keep him as your punt returner, and then Jalen will be your kick returner, but you'll probably put Jakeem back there. So you put him on each side. So that way you can't try, if you only have one, they try to corner kick you and coffin kick you and try to pin you and that kind of stuff. Well, now you put two guys back there in Jalen and Jakeem, and you say, go ahead, pick your poison, dude. Let's go. What you got? And you got two guys that can take it to the house. So I believe Jalen Waddle will make Jakeem Grant better because of that. It's interesting. And we'll go through the draft picks and we'll talk a little bit about it. Omar Kelly, by the way, is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, so we'll have our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more right here on OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Howdy, stranger.
Didn't this used to be Radio Town?
Yes, sir. It was Miami Sports Radio Town one time.
Who in the hell are these cowboys I never saw?
We don't know who these people are, riding in from other towns. There used to be a host in every one of these saloons, trying to talk about local matters, sports.
That ain't good, stranger. Could you tell me how this happened?
Well, it started when one corporation bought another, and they got rid of the good management and brought in a bunch of bumbling idiots and started firing all the local ranchers and replacing them one by one with these strangers from out of town.
I've heard that story before. Static and tumbleweeds, I'm moving on.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Inter Miami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnSideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
After a 0-0 draw to Nashville on Sunday, Inter Miami and their first road trip of the season, gaining 4 out of 6 points in 2 matches against Nashville and Philadelphia. They go back home Sunday on Mother's Day against Atlanta, looking to keep the momentum up. Phil Neville was working with a depleted squad against Nashville SC as the Higuain brothers and Julian Carranza were out. Pizarro was a doubt and Robbie Robinson was also a doubt, but they both made it. Unfortunately, it seems that Robbie Robinson re-injured his leg, so we will be keeping tabs on that. But for now, 0-0 against Nashville is quite the result.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search OnSide Radio.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like an extremely genuine guy, and I'm so excited to be able to come in and do everything I can to help out this team. So, I had great interactions with the Dolphins, and I mean, I'm just, like I said, man, I'm just so excited to be back in Miami, back in the 305. It's funny because I just moved all my stuff out of Coral Gables back home to LA, and now I'm going back to Miami. So it's another road trip coming in for me.
That's Jalen Phillips, defensive end for Miami. Listen, we're talking about a kid that there's no doubt can play. And I know, listen, they needed a pass rusher, and when I ask around the league, and my guys are brutally honest with me, listen, months ago I told you while he was winning the Heisman, my guys told me that Jalen Waddle's the guy, not Devonta Smith. While he's winning the Heisman, and everybody's captured in the moment, and you're all there, and you're all in on Jalen Waddle and all that good stuff. And so overall, you look at this pick here. Again, I call around the league. They love him. Everybody loves him. And yes, the concern was the concussions. Now, he hasn't had one in a while. He doesn't necessarily play a position where you really end up with a ton of concussions. It's not like, let's say, a defensive tackle or a linebacker or a running back or even a safety, that there's a lot of leading with the head, those kind of things. An end is on the outside. It's a little bit of a different game, so I get it. So that's what, some guys were explaining to me. And then those of you that, and I was worried myself, hey, he quit football for a little bit and then came back. So does he have the passion? Well, he did come back. So that was, obviously, you care about the game that much that you're willing to come back and take the chances. And so overall, I got a lot of good vibes around the league about Jalen Phillips. Now, some guys also reminded me, this is a year where a lot of us weren't able to get exactly all the information we need. We tried, but because we didn't have the physical contact with a lot of people, it was tough. And he goes, think about it. Miami's there. They're in his backyard. They got a better chance than all of us to get, just like he told me, hey, we got a better chance of getting info on this university because it's right down the street from us. So I understand the method behind the madness. A lot of people felt that Phillips was the best pass rusher in the draft. Technically, fundamentally, I'm a huge Gregory Rousseau guy, but I will be the first one to tell you that he's still raw when it comes to his moves. He's got to learn more moves, and he'll become even more dominant and scary than he is as it is. So it's interesting to see the reaction from the Phillips pick. But again, this was a player that they needed badly at defensive end. And I know that a lot of you wanted Najee Harris, and I know he went to Pittsburgh at number 24, and he didn't last to 36. But these guys don't – there's a lot of teams that they're just not going to be investing picks in running backs. And as I was telling you during the draft and leading up to it, that the value at 18 was not at running back, was at offensive tackle and defensive pass rusher, where it might be an end or an outside linebacker. Those were the guys that they're harder to find. They're actually more important because the running back, like I told you on Friday, and I gave you the chess analogy, that they're pawns. They're very easy. They're interchangeable. You can find running backs. That's not the most important pieces to the puzzle. And so I think that's what Miami wanted to focus in on is let's get those harder pieces to find. Okay? When we're down to a running back and that's what we need to be complete and be a championship team, which isn't this season anyway, then we'll go out and get that running back. And it shouldn't be hard. We've had plenty of good running backs here for many years. All kinds of backs have come and gone through here. They'll be able to find another one. Relax. Okay? It's not something that you should be concerned about. And Jalen Phillips, smart kid, good kid too, on top of all of that. Works hard. He's a physical specimen. He's a hell of an athlete. He's fundamentally, technically sound for a defensive end. There's really nothing not to like about him. There's only one thing to be concerned, and that's the concussions. Even his injuries weren't anything that should be, oh my God, he lost a lot of cartilage in a knee injury. No, dude. It was, a wrist injury and an ankle injury, and he was fine. Wasn't anything serious or anything like that. So there are no degenerative issues. I don't know why I was concerned about the concussions. And still, to a certain extent, I am. I can't lie. But after talking to a lot of NFL people, they felt that I was overreacting, basically. That's what a lot of my guys told me. Hey, oh, you're taking it, you're taking it too serious. Okay? It's not that bad of a problem. And so we're here. And I do love the first night of the draft. I thought they did it. I gave them an A-, which kind of stayed with my entire draft grade, which is a silly draft grade because it means nothing. This could be an A++. When it's all said and done, this could be a B, this could be a D, could be an F. But we really won't find out for 3 more years. That's when we'll find out what kind of a draft class this is. But in the Jalens, Waddle, and Phillips, I like what I saw. All right, let's find out if Omar Kelly likes what he sees. Omar, of course, covered the draft. He was on with us throughout the weekend at Sports Grill. Folks, don't forget, for those of you watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Most important thing you'll do. We appreciate it. And you can share also with your friends. We'll get to your questions and your comments also in hour number 2, so you can keep posting them there. I'll go through it when we start hour number 2. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. That's next.
Now streaming online. OnSide Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dano, you missed.
And this happens in a lot of food polls, right? When I put out a food discussion and I claim that one thing is better than the other, the people who are the fans of the thing that I don't like as much will always say, oh, you've never had my abuelita's tres leches. Well, no crap. I don't know your grandma. She's never invited me over. I hate that argument. It's like, oh, wait, you think tiramisu is better? You've never had my abuelita's homemade tres leches. Well, until she invites me over, bro, how am I supposed to try? You've clearly never been to Florence where they have great tiramisu, so don't give me your crap. You've never had my nonna's tiramisu.
Yeah, I haven't.
And you'll never have it. She's dead.
Oh, God.
You'll never have it.
I really wanted to.
You're SOL. She didn't save the recipe. It died with her.
Oh, no.
Man of the Match with Alex Dano on South Florida's home for sports talk, OnSideRadio.com. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat picked up 2 wins over the weekend, 124-107 over the Cleveland Cavaliers on Saturday, and 121-111 over the Charlotte Hornets last night. The Miami Heat have moved into sole possession of 6th place in the Eastern Conference. The Heat are back in action at the AAA tomorrow versus the Dallas Mavericks. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. Inter Miami CF played Nashville FC to a 0-0 draw yesterday. Inter Miami picked up the point despite being down a number of key players. Next match is on Sunday, May 9th at Drive Pink Stadium versus Atlanta United. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Florida Panthers take on the Dallas Stars tonight at the BB&T Center. Puck drops at 7. Miami Marlins were swept over the weekend by the Washington Nationals. They welcomed the Arizona Diamondbacks into Lone Depot Park starting on Tuesday. You're listening to South Florida's only locally sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Sean Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man.
Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com. OnSide Radio continues to grow. To make your life easier, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the MyTuner radio app and listen to your favorite OnSideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter Miami CF match. Go to your app store, download MyTuner Radio, and search OnSide Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans. Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Man, words can't even describe how I feel right now. I mean, it's literally like an out-of-body experience. But, you know, I'm just so grateful for Miami as a city. You know, they embraced me when I came into the U, and they've supported me for the last 2 years of my journey. And so there's no place I'd rather be, man. Back to the 305. This is crazy, man. I'm so excited.
Alrighty, welcome back. We are ready to talk a little football with Omar Kelly. We'll get in contact with him now with the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. We'll get in contact with Omar. I know that they were trying to get in contact with him, but he was I guess you know, cell phones not perfected yet. So they're trying to figure that out. So we'll get Omar on. Remember, you can follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And more importantly, if you're looking for your business to improve its warehouse efficiency, why don't you call the folks at EJDconstruction.com? That's right. Maybe you need to fix that warehouse up. Maybe you need to fix your home up. Maybe you need to fix that man cave up. Maybe you need to fix that business up. Call EJDconstruction.com. And I'm telling you, Eric and the boys will definitely take care of you. They are second to none when it's all said and done. All right, so apparently Omar, we'll see. We'll try to get Omar on here and try to get it done. NorCal says, Big O, I apologize for missing the draft coverage, hoping it was a great time. What player would have made your grade A- to A+? Smash the like button and sharing show now. Fins for life. It's not so much a player would have made it A+. I only put it a minus only because of the Jalen Phillips concussions. That's it. That's all. It's not. I have no problem with the players. I love Javon Holland. We were the only station that we were running our draft profiles. I only did one for one safety. It was Javon Holland. Okay? Doing your homework. I heard a lot of good things about Javon Holland. So I go, he fits what I think they do. Let me throw that out there. So we threw Javon Holland out there. I thought Liam Eichenberg, where they got him, was good value too. And he's got a nasty streak. And let me tell you, lately, they've been doing a really good job developing offensive linemen there in Notre Dame. So Eichenberg, I think, can help out and be that right tackle for this team. Hunter Long, very impressed with the kid. Not just because he does a Rubik's Cube in 47 seconds. Okay. He also builds his own computers. Did you know that? Hunter Long built his first computer when he was 13 years old. That's pretty cool. But anyway, even the Larnell Coleman kid from UMass, saw some video on him. Big kid can move, actually. And Jared Dokes, the running back from Cincinnati, runs tough, has great hands. So as a pass catcher can help out also out of the backfield. Do we have Omar yet? All right, so I think they're still working on Omar. I don't know what's going on, but they are having issues with Omar. Still nothing with Omar? All right. Okay. All right. Oh, man. All right, so we'll try to fix that. All right, let's see. All right, you know what we could do? Let's do this real quick. Alex, take me to a break here real quick and give us a couple minutes here. See if we can work on it, and we'll try to get back here with Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Now streaming online. OnSide Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
If you missed Chirping the Cats Radio with David Dwork, then you missed this.
Through the 2017-18 season, Barkov was 54% success rate in shootouts, 19 for 35. 19 shootout goals through the first 4 or 5 years of his career. Since then, Bupkis. I mean, he used to be the guy that came out with some of the most inventive, crazy moves. You remember that one where he slapped his stick on the ice with just leaving the puck alone for going backhand? I want to say it was on Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, he's turned goalies inside out. He can use a move more than once. Clearly, somebody told him that about the backhand move. Seems to be the go-to. And, I mean, I asked Barkov about it a couple of weeks ago, right before the season started. I asked him, dude, you've been struggling. What's the deal? You know, and he said, yeah, goalies maybe got in my head a little bit. I was thinking that they were reading me. I was trying to read them. Shook his confidence. Like, he said it. Running out of moves is not really an excuse when you've got the skills that you can pull off basically whatever you want.
Chirping the Cats Radio with David Dwork. Saturday mornings 10 to 11 at OnSideRadio.com. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Man, my tenacity and my hard work, that's something I can really hang my hat on, man. I'm going to come in day one and just like do the most that I can for the team, man. Just come in, be a humble servant, really come in just ready to soak up everything, be a sponge, and just put my head down to work, man. I want to earn the respect of my teammates and my coaches first and foremost. So, I'm just excited for this opportunity. It's crazy. I keep saying that, but I can't even believe it. This is insane.
All right, we're back. All right, we're going to see if they fix the issue and try to get in contact with Omar Kelly and get his thoughts on this draft and everything that went on over the weekend. They did add a couple of undrafted college free agents, so we'll get into that also. Hunter Long. I got to tell you, the Larnell Coleman kid from UMass, I found him kind of intriguing as one of those projects that we'll see. And the Jared Dokes kid, he had a bunch of injuries, and then he was able to play and played well. So who knows if that's the case. But pretty cool stuff overall, I thought, for this draft. We'll get Omar's thoughts on it, I think, or maybe we won't, because it looks like we're having issues here. So oh, man. So I don't know. You know what I was thinking, Alex? Just bring him on and see if he can hear me instead of just the phone line. Maybe it's not an issue there. Maybe it'll be fine on air. So see if you can do that. Let's try bringing him on the air, and maybe we can hear him here, but he can't hear you there with the phone. Who knows? So maybe we'll do that. We'll experiment because something's going on. The beauty of live radio, right? And on a day where I've got no voice, my voice is kind of toast. I kind of need the help, you know what I'm saying? This is the kind of day where you guys can call in a lot and take some phone calls and help me out with that, that kind of stuff. Because even the texting, I have to do all the talking because I've got to read your question and react and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so we got a bunch of people. Big O, to your point on Jakeem, consider this. The 53-man roster this year gets boosted 3 more positions. The normal 6 wide receiver room will be 7 likely. The extra 3 we add on, Jakeem, Laird, and lineman. I don't think Jakeem's an extra. I think he's one of your 5 main guys. That's where you and I differ. Jakeem is one of the 3 best returners in the NFL. I mean, that's a fact. In the last 3 years, there aren't 3 returners better than Jakeem Grant. You just don't – I don't understand this thing about, just get rid of Jakeem Grant. You don't need him anymore. And what do you want to do? So you want Jalen Waddle to be your starting receiver and your full-time returner? Come on. Let's go. Let's have a little common sense. Jakeem Grant is needed, and he's really good. He's awesome as a returner. We got to – some of you have to learn to compartmentalize here, okay? Jakeem the returner and Jakeem the receiver. Separate the two. That's what I love about what they've done. Less Jakeem as a receiver, all Jakeem as a returner. Maybe as a receiver, you use him a couple times in a game for some kind of stuff where you scare the crap out of the defense, and you put Jakeem, Will Fuller, and Waddle out there, and then you freak them out because there's three guys that are just blazers. 3-4-3 guys, basically, is what you're putting out there. So that's where some of you actually, what's it called, are looking at it differently than I am. Let's see, what else do we have here? Which wide receiver do you get rid of then? Oh, well, Albert Wilson's gone. Allen Hurns is gone. You'll keep Waddle, Fuller, Preston, Parker, Jakeem, and I don't know who will be your 6th or 7th. I got to look at the list here. Let me look at everybody, so at least I have in front of me the. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. All right, Waddle, Fuller, Preston, Jakeem, Parker, Malcolm Perry. Well, before Malcolm Perry, I got to put the other kid, Lynn Bowden Jr. There. That's it. Those are your 6. Those are your 6. Omar, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly. So I guess the issue is on the phone. Yeah, so I guess that's why I told them bring you on air just in case, because maybe the issue's only on the phone, and maybe it's just maybe it's the handle of the phone that is.
Listen, that's 30 years of veteran experience right there in the radio game.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm a big old fat toad, and I got a bunch of tadpoles working with me. So I gotta teach the tadpoles so they can get to the big ugly frog I am. You know what I mean? So that's all. That's the analogy I got. I hope you all enjoyed it. All right. All right, Omar. Let's get into it. The draft is complete. You've had a little time to think about it now. And I know grades are silly because you got to wait 3 years. But for now, people love to hear us talk about it. So what do you like? What don't you like?
I love the fact that they took the players that were high on their board. They took arguably, they'll tell you we use the number 1 receiver. I think it's bull. They'll tell you they took the Jalen Waddle, probably the number 2 receiver on their board. They took their number 1 pass rusher. They took their number 1 safety. Those are great. And they took 2 players that they really loved at the Senior Bowl, and Hunter Long and Liam Eisenberg. How exactly do they fit into next year's team? I don't know, but they definitely helped you from a talent standpoint, from a depth standpoint. I really like this draft from the Dolphins for this reason. They took the players that they loved, and that's the only way that I think you can have successful drafts. You stick to BPA, and you take the players that you love. What I don't like about this draft is that they didn't necessarily address 2 major positions of need, which are running back and center. Now, this could make me believe that maybe Michael Dieter is in play for a realistic, viable chance to play center, or maybe even Jesse Davis is in play to play center. And they've got 3 new guys on the roster, so hopefully one of them pans out, and Scora and Cam something. I can't even tell you the names of the centers because they're just so random. But running back,
you talk about Tom Cameron.
Tom Cameron, yeah, there you go. In Tom Cameron and Tyler Gaither. But running back was just an area that you definitely needed to address, and right now you got to go into it looking and hoping that Malcolm Brown is the savior of the missing, the addition that's the missing piece that you need. I'm honestly not going into it thinking that a 7th-round tailback is going to be the savior, even though Myles Gaskin was a 7th-round tailback and was the savior last year.
He did well. Actually, Myles may be a better player this year because of experience, and the offensive line should be better because those 3 young guys got a lot of playing time, so hopefully they're better. You know, I was talking about this, that the offense is going to be better already because, you know, Tua doesn't have to wait for somebody to get open. He's got 2 guys that will immediately get open off the line because you can't hang with Fuller and Waddle off the line.
Yeah.
Those guys are going to be able – so that alone is going to make Tua and the offense so much better.
We hope, and Flo said it yesterday, actually during the draft, sort of his thought process, which is – you're going to have to – you can't stack the box against us, or we're going to make you pay.
Right.
And you can, and basically, if you load the box, we're going to make you pay. So, I mean, I'm sorry. Let me put it the other way.
Right.
And if you cover us deep and you occupy your safeties, then we're going to make you pay with basically the running game. My question is, who is going to make them pay?
Right.
And you know, I like the thought process. I would have loved this draft and loved this offense, and I'm not going to bring it up too much too often. But if you had added a back like Najee Harris, or if you had added a back like Javon Williams, I would have said, you've got 5 dangerous pieces on this team. There are no excuses. Let's get it. That would be my response about the Dolphins.
Right. But here's the thing, Omar. Here's the thing. Let's have a little fun with this. They would have had
hold
to.
on. Let me finish. Before we have the fun, let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
Now, what you have done is you have left Tua a built-in excuse, and I don't like that.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Tua has no excuses right now as it is as a passer. If the offensive line is better with those weapons, he should be able to do his thing overall, and they should have a serviceable running game. Maybe they have a good running game. Good running game. But here's the thing. Let me have a little fun with you here on this. All right, so you would have to take Najee at 18. So if you didn't, but if Jalen Phillips becomes a 10-plus sack guy every year and becomes that werewolf, it was more valuable for you to find that defensive end. So the running back can be found next year. You're not a super
exactly.
That's why
there's your thing. There's your thing. You just gave him an excuse. You just said, okay, well, we can. Yeah, you could have done it this year. You could have. You chose not to, and I respect the fact that you chose not to, because I do understand the thought process between Jalen Phillips is way more valuable if he's good than a Najee Harris. Okay, that's cool, unless Najee Harris turns into Le'Veon Bell. That's cool. I understand it. I don't object to that.
Le'Veon before or after the contract?
Le'Veon before. Come on. And mind you, I still think Le'Veon Bell is a good back. I'm curious. I want to see it here in Miami. I just don't want an excuse. I don't want a built-in excuse why this offense isn't a top 15 unit in the NFL. If you look at where you are in the AFC, you got to beat the Buffalo Bills, the Tennessee Titans, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs just to even be considered good. To beat those teams, you got to score points, Big O. You got to score at least 28 points. Do you see this team right now with the running game averaging 3.9 yards per carry with these 2 backs coming back and this offensive line, which I told you from the very beginning, and yes, I understand development is going to happen, but I don't like the pieces. I don't like the pieces from the get-go. Now, it'll be interesting to see what the development does, but if you tell me that this team can score 28 points on a regular basis,
maybe. Why not? With the weapons they have, I think so. I think, again, you could kind of get crafty with the running game and make it serviceable, but if you have explosive plays from these guys, and let me tell you something. You know, I kind of laugh because you look at the Bills that you just talked about. Well, they
Mm-hmm.
drafted Devin Singletary. They're not really happy. Zach
Yeah.
Moss, who I actually loved last year,
I did too.
and he got injured at the end. So
Mm-hmm.
they were rumored to be taking another running back also. They, by the way, added Matt Breida as their third back on that team
Yeah.
now. So you would be killing the Bills because they can't find a running back either.
No, I would. I would. I absolutely would.
Now remember, the Bills' running game is augmented by a quarterback. A quarterback that runs.
Oh, of course, that runs the football. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we just looked at what we said, okay, they got to come out of this draft with these things: pass rusher, edge setter, center, running back. Now, I knew that they wanted a safety because people told me that they wanted a safety.
They needed
they didn't need it. They could have put a priority in getting a Cisco in the later rounds. They could have gotten a Stern in the later rounds. They wanted the number one guy on their board, and I can respect that. Listening to Brian Flores, you got to go back and listen to him talk about Javon Holland.
I heard it.
Man, I have never heard him sing the praises of a player like that. He don't even talk about Xavier Howard like that.
Omar, I got a lot of info on Javon Holland. That's why he was on our profiles on this station. He was the only safety I ran because I got a lot of people that love Javon Holland in a big-time way. They love his versatility. They think he can cover the nickel if he needs to. He can cover tight ends. The kid can play deep safety. He's got range. He's got size.
Yep.
He's smart.
They're looking for a deep safety to replace Bobby McCain.
Because you and I know, poor Bobby, he's a man's man for getting back there and playing that and not complaining and not pointing fingers. But Bobby knows that he belongs in the slot. That's what he
That's
is.
true.
He's not a free safety. So now you made your secondary better. Once this kid is ready to play back there, Bobby moves in to the nickel. You're deeper now all of a sudden, and you have a backup free safety in Bobby McCain who can swing from corner to safety and vice versa, by the way. If somebody's killing you on the slot, you're going to tell Javon, yo, move in and take care of this guy, and he can do that.
Yeah, because the one thing the Buffalo game, and I am a Nick Needham fan. I respect players like Nick Needham because Nick Needham has never been given anything in this team. He has always taken it. He has jacked every spot and position and playing time that he's ever had, and I respect that. But what Buffalo showed you in that season finale is he can't handle speed. That kid, Isaiah McKenzie, just ripped him a new one. And right now, you just added a player who can cover the Isaiah McKenzies of the league.
And you also have another team that added 2 tight ends. So you've got a safety that can help you out because the Patriots added 2 athletic tight ends.
Yeah.
So that also kind of helps. Now, let me ask you something. Do you feel the Dolphins were kind of doing the same thing by adding Hunter Long, a guy they had at the Senior Bowl, and they kind of feel that he's going to be another playmaker? You tell me.
Big O, you know how I feel about Mike Gesicki. It's not a secret. I like the talent. I like the player. But you know when he comes on the field, he's telegraphing what you're doing. And I don't like that. I believe that Mike Gesicki's days as a Dolphin are numbered. That's just my opinion. Maybe it's Durham Smythe that they replace because Durham Smythe's making $2.3 million this season because of playing time incentives. And I don't necessarily know if he's worth that kind of money. He's a decent player, but he's not a every down player. Hunter Long is going to help you replenish that tight end position. And as I've said to you from get-go, $10 million on Mike Gesicki, I don't know about all that, Big O.
Well, next year won't be a problem because the cap will blow up so much with the new TV deals and then in full stadiums. The NFL is going to be printing money. And by the way, you nailed it on the second part. he's here to replace Durham Smythe because he blocks a little also. So that he actually is a little more complete than Gesicki because he brings a little bit of the physical nature of it. Hey, well, he's a BC kid. What do you expect? Those are all lunch pail guys. So I think he replaces Durham Smythe, and he gives you a more athletic number 2 tight end. I think that's the way they're kind of looking at it.
Absolutely. And here's the thing about Mike Gesicki. I'm franchise tagging him next year at $9.6 million.
Smart.
And then see where we go from there. But yeah, it's you could kind of see the writing on the wall in a lot of the things that they did. Bobby McCain's future is uncertain. Mike Gesicki, Durham Smythe, their future is uncertain. I'm a little surprised they didn't address inside linebacker because of Jerome Baker's contract situation. I guess that's something that they can address at a later date.
All right, so looking over some of the other where are you with Jalen Phillips, by the way, as a draft pick?
Love it.
Okay.
He was my top pass rusher. I'm a big Jalen Phillips fan from what he did at the University of Miami. As we discussed, the only concern is I would not have selected him in the first round because I'm concerned about the medical. He would have been a priority in the second round, but talent-wise, if we had a clean bill of health, he would have been a top 15 selection.
Right.
Now, here's the problem when you draft injured players. Devontae Parker was a red flag injury-prone player, and what has happened throughout his career?
Injury-prone.
He's been injury-prone. Now, let's pray to God Jalen Phillips doesn't have a troublesome injury history and doesn't spend half the season on IR. But even if he did, you could draft a healthy player, and he can spend half the season on IR. Xavier Howard was a healthy player when the Dolphins drafted him, and he's played half his career.
Right. He's had a ton of knee injuries. He's done he gets his knee scoped every year. He's the Marino now of the cornerbacks.
He hasn't had a scope.
That was Marino every year.
He hasn't had a scope this offseason, and he did a very next level procedure last year, hoping that this would be in his pass, and so far it's worked.
Yeah, Marino had more scope than you find in a supermarket. All right, I mean seriously. So yeah, we saw that. All right, anything else catch your eye? Larnell Coleman, Jared Dokes, any of the undrafted college free agents? Talk to me.
Liam Eisenberg, I am very curious what they're going to do. Everybody who knows me knows I'm an O-line nut. I'm crazy about
it's Eichenberg.
Eichenberg, yes.
Eisenberg used to work with us at QAM. I remember him, yes.
Eichenberg, I'm curious what he's going to play. Right now, I probably cross-train him at left tackle and left guard and see if he can hold that spot down. And I do the same thing with Robert Hunt at right tackle and right guard. Jesse Davis would be my swing man. I'm unfortunately keeping Solomon Kinley right where he is at right guard. And may the best five win. We all know how Brian Flores operates. He takes the best five and he figures it out. So Eichenberg, where he plays, what he trains, where he practices, I'm going to be very curious. But you also have to keep in mind, you need a backup left tackle. And this team does not have a backup left tackle.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But I think Jesse you nailed it, is the swing guy. I think Eichenberg ends up starting at right tackle when it's all said and done. I think you start first with Fluker, obviously. Okay. Fluker starts first. And then as the year goes on, you work Eichenberg in because Fluker isn't here long term. So I would imagine they're going to try to get Eichenberg in at some point during the season.
So you think Hunt moves permanently inside to guard?
Yes, I do.
Okay, here's my only question and concern about that. I was expecting, anticipating, waiting, watching for that all of last season, and they said no. They didn't.
Maybe he wasn't ready at that moment. Maybe they weren't comfortable. But now at this point, maybe that's what they feel, that he belongs better at guard. I mean, that's my opinion. I think he'll play right guard, and Eichenberg will be your right tackle when it's all said and done. For now, I think it'll be Fluker as your right tackle starting right now, and Hunt will be your right guard.
The reason I think Eichenberg makes a better guard is because he works better on the – nobody on this team can get to the second level. Nobody on this team can do well with tandem blocks. And Eichenberg, that was his strength. I love that Notre Dame line. He was not my favorite player on that Notre Dame line, but he was a very good player.
They're producing players from that line, man. You got to give Kelly a lot of credit. That's one area that Notre Dame's been succeeding in the last couple of years at that spot.
Absolutely. And so I need an interior player who can do damage, who can scare the Jerome Bakers of the league and terrorize the Landon Roberts. There is not one on this roster. And until you find one, you're going to have a mediocre run game. And hopefully it's Eichenberg.
Let's hope so. Anything on the undrafted college free agents? Do you have any? Nothing?
Didn't even learn their names.
Okay.
I don't. Until they start making plays like what was his name? Preston Williams. When they get here,
right.
I completely ignore the undrafted guys. People, I challenge you right now to name me the undrafted guys who actually made the team last year. Most people can't do it.
Right? No, of course not. Yeah. It's probably impossible. And they were probably on the practice squad, most of them.
Yes, exactly. They were on the practice squad. It's not you rarely do you get a year where there's Preston Williams and Nick Needham, two undrafted guys who were your best rookies in 2019. Right. Rarely ever. So I don't sit here and
Benito was one of them last year, right? Wasn't?
Nah, Benito wasn't good.
But he was one, right? Didn't he make the roster?
Yes, he made the roster last year. Yes, the gold star for Big O.
There we go.
Give me another one, Big O. Give me another one.
Oh, I'm trying. Let me see.
There's a pass rusher. Everybody was super excited about last year.
Oh, by the way, you were a little unfair about the pass rusher with Chris Greer. He did find Agba in free agency. I know you're talking about first rounder, but Agba in free agency, Seiler also really helped out. They've been able and finding also the kid in the 5th round. They've been able to unearth.
Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah, Van Ginkel, bro.
I don't consider Van Ginkel as a pass rusher. I consider Van Ginkel,
but he helps. He's going to get you 5 sacks, 7 sacks.
Van Ginkel's a hustle guy. Yeah, Van Ginkel's a hustle guy. I'm talking about when we talk about pass rushers and edge. I'm talking about a guy who can disengage from a tackle.
I got you.
And hunt that quarterback.
Yeah,
now,
but Van Ginkel
Phillips,
does
no
help
doubt.
you out in that area. You have to admit he's a playmaker, bro, on that defense. He's one of the few playmakers on that defense.
No argument about that, but a lot of their scheme is designed around we're putting all the pressure on the secondary, and we're exotic blitzing. Somebody's going to be free.
Right.
Make the play, and I don't think you're going to be able to coach like that next year. I don't believe that. So you're going to have to be able to traditionally get some pressure, and when you have a lead, be able to close out games. Now without blitzing, and I just don't. Even Emmanuel Ogba probably had 1 disengagement sack. So, I just think that there's more work to be done there. Now, they said something. Remember when I told you McKinney was they envisioned him as an outside linebacker?
Yeah.
And you were like, no way.
Dude, I heard it, and I saw your tweet. They can envision all the hell they want. He's not going to tell you exactly how he's going to use them. And will he experiment with them on the outside like he did with Raekwon McMillan? Of course he will. But in the end, Bernardrick McKinney will be playing predominantly on the inside because he's a monster on the inside. He's a thumper. He's a guy that's going to stuff your run. And every once in a while, he'll get you some pressure from the inside. I agree that, yes, they experiment. But predominantly, I just see him on the inside. I don't see him as an outside guy.
Here's what I think. I think he could be a first and second down inside guy, and then I think he could be a third down outside guy. And because you don't want him in coverage, you really don't want him in coverage.
No, that's not his strength. Even though they also feel he can cover, but I don't think you really want him in that area.
So I think that's how we'll see that play out, and maybe Vince Beagle and Andrew Van Ginkel are the edge guys, obviously with Jalen Phillips in the mix. I mean, people have to understand we're talking a 4-3 scheme and a 3-4 scheme. There's so many moving parts, and different players play different roles. So we know who are the 3-4 outside linebackers. The question is, do we know? And we know who is the 4-3 ends What we have to figure out is who is the 3-4 ends. And it could be Raekwon Davis, it could be Christian Wilkins. So they got a lot of flexibility and a lot of multiple functioning pieces.
Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly, and of course catch him here all throughout the week exclusively with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Omar, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time, man. Sorry about the technical snafus.
All good, bro. Big O. All right, man.
All right, baby. Be good. There you go. Omar Kelly. Follow him on the Sun Sentinel. And more importantly, by the way, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Support our local journalists. All right, so we're already into hour number 2, but we started so late and all of that. I didn't want to shorten this interview. And plus, it's the day after the weekend of the draft. So we want to delve into a lot of the subjects because we know Dolph fans want to get some of that information. Great stuff by Omar. Let's take a quick break. Hour number 2 is next.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. From additions to home remodeling, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDconstruction.com. OnSide Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome to OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at OnSide Radio.
When you want local sports, 1260 WESPN.
We're live and local.
Yes, what she said.
Well, it's what they wrote.
Look at it this way, honey.
Oh, no. Here we go.
At some point, this was all live, and wherever it came from, it was local there.
You get that look whenever you stretch the truth or when you need your laxative.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
Now streaming online.
OnSide Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Time to get in the zone. The OnSide Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it.
The OnSide Zone.
I don't care how you win a championship, dude. You can draft it, you can buy it, you can trade for it. Just win, baby.
The OnSide Zone.
You're not Aladdin rubbing the lamp and then Will Smith comes out and you ask him, hey, fix our dolphin problems. And there he goes. No, I'm sorry. It'd be nice if it was that easy, but it's not.
You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The OnSide Zone with a big O.
All right.
Yeah, I get a lot of comparisons to Tyreek just because our small size and being able to be a runner. But I want to be, my own player and try to play the game that I play and try to do my own style, not trying to, emulate someone else's style. So I think I'm going to, try to be the player that I always have and try to make plays for the team and just trying to, put the team in position to win.
We start hour number 2. I love most of you out there. You do a great job supporting our show. We got a boatload of people right now on the chat board, and we thank you for it. And one of the guys there, Anthony Manzano, who's usually on, has followed us here. And Anthony has, I think, come up with one of those crazy Oliver Stone theories. And so I'm interested to find out the answers. because he goes, "Oh, do you think the reason why top-level offensive-minded coaches don't want to come and coach as an OC at Miami is because Coach Flores is too controlling overall?" I need to know who are those top-level minds that have said no to Miami, because I don't remember anybody. I don't remember one big-name offensive coach that said, "Nah, I don't want to coach with you guys." I don't know what that means. That's like, again, and that's how this society is nowadays, okay? A lot of people believe a lot of misinformation out there, right? The last guy we had in place in the White House just said a lot of stupid things, and there were a lot of people that bought a lot of that stuff, okay? And it happens. I get it. And I get that you people some of you out there like to make up stuff along the way or believe whatever the hell you want to believe. But I don't know who it was. Please help me out there, because I posted it there. Like, who was it? Who wanted to actually what offensive-minded coach did they want that said no to them? I'm not sure what you're talking about. And any coach pretty much wants to come to Miami nowadays. Now, if you're not good enough, then Flo gets rid of you. That's all. That's what I love about these guys. If they make a mistake, they don't hang on. They make the changes. Hey, we broadcast every day at Drive Pink Stadium. Do you not think that David Beckham and Jorge Mas thought they made a mistake last year with their coach and general manager? That's why they made changes. And look, they've already started off better. The team looks better. Now, what do you want them to do? Hang on to a mistake? So if the offensive line coach, right when Flo took over, he got rid of him right away. So if the guy's a bad coach, why would you keep him around? That's all. Coach Flo just took over. It's his first time as head coach. Do you think he's going to nail and have a perfect staff with him? No. Listen, we've had this conversation before. Coaching is about overcoming and adjusting. Why? Because you might hire an up-and-coming coach, and when he's really good, you're not keeping him. You're going to lose him because he's going to get, obviously a better job somewhere else. He'll become a head coach somewhere else, and you lose him, and now you got to find an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. And you might have a linebackers coach that's outstanding, but then he gets a defensive coordinator spot because your defensive coordinator kicks ass, so you can't do that, right? So he goes and he leaves. You got to find another linebacker coach. Or the coach isn't good enough, the offensive line, the offensive coordinator, whatever. You fire them, and you get the next person. So either way, there's going to be turnover in coaching staffs. Shula had plenty of turnover. Every coach that's around is going to have plenty of turnover. Belichick has dealt with turnover all throughout his tenure at New England. Saban, tons of turnover. Why? Because either they're bad and you get rid of them, or they're really good and they get promoted. So what are you going to say if their coaches start leaving and getting better jobs? Oh, wow, nobody wants to stay with Flo too? Tuttle Army says Sarkisian would be a great fit as OC. Maybe. But right now, it's not like they're offering him the job and he's coming here. He's already got a job. Let's see, what else do we have here? Jean-Luc is in the house. Tremolio says, oh, my God, here we go again. Can't go one show without talking about Trump. He got TDs. There we go. Or does he have STD? Which one is it? What else do we have? I remember the zone blocking scheme under Philbin, undersized and quick, did not do much for our running game. Was not a fan. Well, I like these guys. They got some big boys on this line. That's for sure. What else do we have? I don't see a lot of questions here. Tremolio is trashing Omar and Salguero. What else? Mike says there's nothing traditional about what the Dolphins do at safety scheme-wise. They want guys that are versatile, which Holland is. Yes, we've talked about that many times on the show, that if you're a safety in this system, you have to have cover skills. And it can't be that you're just a zone-type player. You've got to also have some man-on-man skills in you, and you've got to be able to do that. Not every safety is built that way. But in this system, they want you to be that way. It's extremely important that you're that way. That's the interesting part about the way the Dolphins run their secondary. Let's see. Omar wanted to make a point by asking if the Finns can average 28 points per game. Bro, Omar, Finns averaged 25.5 points per game last year before they added the studs in this draft. Omar is a clown. Tremolio, you're killing him. Why are you killing my man Omar? That they can. I see. To me, again, with Omar, and I think it happens with some of you out there, you're so in love with the running back position, you make it sound like they're a running back away from being a Super Bowl contender. And I tried to explain on Friday that it's more important to find a defensive end. It's more important to find a tackle. It's more important to find a cover corner. It's more important to find a number one wide receiver. So if these positions are available, or quarterback or something like that, then you need to find those positions first, because they're more important right now to the foundation of your team. If you end up building a nasty line, okay, and let's say Eichenberg goes out there and kicks ass, and Robert Hunt takes over, and then you've got Skura to fill in at center for now, and maybe Dieter also backs him up. I'm not exactly sure. Then you've got Solomon, Kinley, and Jackson, right? If these five cats turn into a really good line, then Gaskins will have a good year. And anybody else that runs behind them will have success. Now, will you dominate? Okay, maybe not. If the running backs aren't necessarily special to like really take it to another level. But if you've got a good line, then they're going to move the pile. They're going to move the chains. They're going to get 3, 4, 5 yards a carry. Now, are you going to get a lot of the 25 and 35 and 50-yard plays? Maybe not. Maybe you won't get as many of those big plays. But if your line is good, your quarterback's effective, your receivers are scary, your tight end is also very good, then everything else will open up. And I think that's what Tremolio was trying to say, that before all the talent you've added, Miami is going to be able to put up points. I'm not concerned. And then next year, you'll add, and the other thing he was saying, that you're giving Tua an excuse. I disagree. I don't think you're giving Tua an excuse, because Tua still has to go out there and play the game. It's not his fault if the running back only gets 3 yards and the offensive line doesn't open up a hole. That, I think we're all smart enough, and so's the Dolphin front office, to say, okay, Tua's doing his job, but the running back did not find the right hole, or the line did not open up one, whatever it is. I think we can decipher the two. And if you give him time to throw, he will be able to throw you out of some of those problems too. And that will be also a plus for Tua. Look, I talk about this all the time, and this is going to go with Tua also. I measure a quarterback by chaos. So when something breaks down, can you make something out of nothing? When the play that's designed does not work, can you then ad lib? I need to see that. I need to see that at the end of a game, you're playing with your second string right tackle and your third string guard, but yet you find a way to overcome things. Tua's going to have to do those kind of things too. So we're going to be able to easily measure him and what he brings to the table week in and week out. So don't be so nervous about something like that. It'll all work out, folks. All right? All right, let's take a quick break. We do want to remind you, a shade above Window Fashions in Davie at 954-434-4774. A Shade Above teamed up with Bandalux, folks, to personalize and create the OnSide shade in beautiful pink and black La Rosa Negra. It's a beautiful shade. To order protection with style for your home or office like we did, A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. Go to the website, ashadeaboveflorida.com. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new Papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new Papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
At OnSideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The home stretch begins tonight as the Panthers are back in South Florida for the final 3 regular season games on their schedule. First up, it's the Dallas Stars, a team desperate for points with the race for the final Central Division playoff spot coming down to Dallas and Nashville. The Stars are on the outside looking in, trailing the Predators by 3 points in the standings, but with 1 game in hand. It won't be easy for Dallas to keep pace because the Panthers have been one of the hottest teams in the league. Florida has gone 8-2-1 over its past 11 games, thanks in large part to the play of superstars Sasha Barkov and Jonathan Huberdeau, as well as newcomer Sam Bennett, who was acquired at the trade deadline. In just 9 games with the Panthers, Bennett has racked up 5 goals and 13 points while skating on a line with Huberdeau, who has been just as productive with 16 points in his last 11 games. Face-off between Florida and the Stars is set for 7 p.m. at the BB&T Center.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching OnSide Radio, your home for South Florida sports.
It's toast. Smartest thing I did last year? Called B&T Windows and Doors and had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house. Listen, it's spring. That means before you know it, we'll be hearing about the tropics churning. That means you need to get your home and family protected today. Call B&T right now and they'll get you installed ASAP with the best in the business, PGT Custom Windows and Doors. 954-233-0126 or bntwindowsanddoors.com. And P.S. Tell them you heard about them on OnSide Radio.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dano, you missed.
I think we need to normalize the nickname Dick again. There used to be a lot of dicks. Now, people think about the male anatomy. I don't know why we can't use Dick as a nick. There was something the strong, silent type would have the name Dick. Yeah, sure, it was a nickname for Richard, but Richards now will just go by Rich or Richard. Like, nobody goes by Dick anymore. I think we need to normalize Dick.
Man of the Match with Alex Dano from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Man, all I can say about that is perseverance, man. There was good days, there was bad days, but at the end of the day, man, I kept my faith. I stayed humble and I worked hard, and I had great people around me to support me and carry me through this process. So it's been surreal. I mean, these last 2 years of my life, like so much has changed, and I'm just so blessed to be in this position that I am right now, and so thankful for everybody who's helped me along the way.
All right. Life is beautiful. Hope you all doing well. Great weekend, man. We had the draft. Dolphins loaded up. Love what they did in the draft. The Heat playing a little better. Not that I'm really buying that they've turned some kind of corner with the Hornets or anything like that. Although I will give Kendrick Nunn some credit. He has shown some consistency lately. Hopefully, he will continue to do that. What else do we have going on? Inter with a huge draw yesterday. That was an enormous draw by them. Ethereum. Anybody doing a little crypto, baby? I just looked up Ethereum right now. It's at $3,280. It just crossed 3,000 last night, and it already hit 303. It is crazy, dude. 10 weeks ago, which we've been Ethereum, the bull move, baby. It's a bull market. I've been telling you about Ethereum for a while now, and it dipped recently to 15 something. You realize you would have doubled your money if you bought the dip. Okay? All right? BTFD. Buy the effing dip. Not a financial advisor, just a guy that loves crypto and has not misguided you whatsoever on crypto. Okay? Not one bit. It's all, I mean, might as well toot the horn. If I'm going to tell you, I might as well tell you and toot the horn and tell you, no, haven't misled you on Cardano, haven't misled you on Ethereum, haven't misled you on VeChain, haven't misled you on Crow, haven't misled you on Bitcoin, haven't misled you on Stellar, Engine Coin, too many. Theta. If you're listening to me, you're making some cash, baby. Some serious cash you're making, okay? That's all I'm saying. And wait till VeChain makes its next move, because it consolidated for a while between 7 and 9 cents, and I was loading up then, and then it went up to 25, and then we had the dip in the market, went down to 19.20. It's up to like 22 now, and so it's kind of consolidating in that 19.24 area, and take advantage, because the next time it goes, it'll go into the 30s, and then it'll start to consolidate in that area. That's kind of what Cardano is doing also. Cardano will make a move to the 150s and 160s very soon. You know, it consolidated in the $1.90 something area for a while, for several weeks. Then it went consolidating in the 120s, and then it made the move up to the 140, 150. Then we had the dip, and now it's back up again, and it's been consolidating around the 130s. It'll go to the 150s and 160s very soon. It'll be close to $5 by the end of the year. I expect Cardano to be at $5 by the end of the year, maybe more, because once Goguen is added and all of that. VeChain, which is at like 22 cents, I expect it to be at least $1 by the end of the year. So in a little over in 7 months, it'll be $1. So whatever you invest now, you'll probably get it back 4 times over. There's a lot of these. And Ethereum, I've been talking about forever to take advantage of Ethereum. So there's a little crypto talk for you, just in case. I hope you're taking advantage of the market, because that's the direction. That's not a fly-by-night thing. That's the direction that this world is going in. And more people are figuring that out. So that's why all I can do is try to help you all out there. Tuttle says Trent Dilfer just had high praise for the Dolphins. That's nice to hear. Jean-Luc says Stellar Lumens, Ether, and Cardano. There you go. He's on the right track. I didn't have the capital back then to buy the dip, but I got my foot in the door. And you're winning now. You are winning. You took advantage of that. Dip was so good, because it was a strong dip. And that's the other thing about the crypto market. When you play it, strap on a pair, okay? Like, be tough about it and stay strong and let those dips happen. Don't panic and sell. Buy more, because watch it. Watch most of these. They all have a upward trend. But what they do is they dip, they consolidate, then they go back up higher. And then they dip again, but it's a higher low. And then they go to another plateau, and then they come down again. And Ethereum right now is exploding. Ethereum will have another dip. Now, this time, a bargain might be somewhere in the 2,700 area, something like that. Something along those lines, 27, 2,600. It might happen, it might not. But if it does, that's when you buy again and you get in and then you continue the climb. Ethereum, I think, will be at 5,000 by the end of the year. And it hit 3 now. I've been telling you that it'll be 5,000 when it was 1,500, 1,700, and all that. I've been telling you that it would be 5,000. So I'm just saying, keep doing it. You'll be fine. Let me see. Anthony said something here. Let's see. Herman, I know coaches have to have personality, but what I'm trying to say is, do you think those top-level guys on offense hey, Anthony, yo, stop with the stupid question, dude. What top-level coach turned down Miami? Please. You keep making a hollow-ass statement. Nobody's turned down Miami. There are no top-level coaches saying, oh, I don't want to come to Miami. That's never happened. Find me the article. Find me the quote. Doesn't exist. You know, some of you just make shit up. That's all. You fill your head up with shit. Complete bullshit. That's what's happening. No, it's a young coach that is building his staff, and this is his 3rd year as a head coach. He's not 30 years as a head coach where he has all kinds of connections. No, he was on one team for 15, 17 years. He didn't bounce around the NFL. Let me explain something to some of you out there, because here's another misconception out there. When you see a coach bounce around to 5 different teams or 6, some of you say, oh, he must suck. And it's so stupid to say that. He's actually really good. That's why they keep hiring him, because others know what he can do, so they're bringing him aboard. And so when you are an offensive coordinator, a linebackers coach, a wide receivers coach, a special teams guy, offensive, defensive, and you bounce around the league and you work your way up from quality control to positional coach to then a coordinator and all of that, and you have 8 different places that you've gone, you now have met all kinds of coaches, all kinds of systems you've been a part of. So by the time you get a head coaching job, you have a lot of connections. Brian Flores was on one team the entire time, and he was able to take 2 coaches from there. But he didn't go to 8 franchises throughout his tenure, so he didn't have a variety. So he's young, so now he has to figure out a staff. It's not that they're denying him. It's just this is the way it goes. You have to prove yourself, and then others will join you. And he has already by winning 5 games with no talent and 10 games last year. But stop with this stupid-ass question like offensive geniuses are turning down Miami. Give me a break, bro. Have you seen Flo? Have you watched Flo? Flo is extremely likable. You know what Flo is? Flo's the dude that you have no trouble with him if you do your job. Now, if you're a slacker, if you're not good at your job, if you're lazy, whatever, then he's going to get rid of you. But outside of that, Flo looks to me like the kind of guy that the kind of person I can relate to. Do your job, and we're good. That's all. Simple. Yeah. Wow. Holy crap, dude. Guy keeps putting the same thing over. And it's like, wow. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Remember, Michelle Kaufman will join us in hour number 3 at 2:30 to talk a little Inter Miami. Back with more right here on OnSideRadio.com.
You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Time for a Sports Grill NFL draft profile. Alabama wide receiver Jalen Waddle. This 5'10" senior is listed at 182 pounds.
Deep ball, man there.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
It was a weekend full of South Florida sports, kicking off with the Miami Heat picking up 2 wins over the weekend. First against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 124-107, and last night against the Charlotte Hornets, 121-111. The Heat have moved into sole possession of 6th place in the Eastern Conference and are back in action tomorrow night at the AAA to take on the Dallas Mavericks. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. Inter Miami also played over the weekend against Nashville FC to a 0-0 draw yesterday. Inter Miami picked up the point despite being down a number of key players. The next match for Inter Miami is Sunday, May 9th at Drive Pink Stadium against Atlanta United. Kickoff is at 1. Florida Panthers take on the Dallas Stars tonight at the BB&T Center. Puck drops at 7 p.m. And last, the Miami Marlins were swept over the weekend by the Washington Nationals. They're back at it against the Arizona Diamondbacks for a 3-game series starting tomorrow at Lone Depot Park. You are listening to South Florida's only locally sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Ass family. Dr. Moody-Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
I mean, it's there for sure. It definitely needs to improve and something that we're going to try to improve on. So it's good to, be familiar with him, but I'm coming to work and I know he is too. So just getting it down and just going back and having at it day by day, just trying to build it and build it more.
Can I say something about Jalen Waddle? Because we all talk about the speed and all that good stuff, and some of you, of course, are hanging on to the foot injury he has. What I love is some of you are actually label him injury prone, and he really isn't injury prone. It's the one injury. But anyway, I got to tell you, when I saw the interview with Jalen Waddle, Alex, did you watch the entire interview of Jalen Waddle with the Dolphins?
Not entirely, no.
No, he's too busy counting the seam on baseballs. So anyway, we watching the entire interview of Jalen Waddle, I fell in love with the kid. I love the way he handled things. He was mature. He was logical. Like they baited him like writers normally do and reporters. Like, hey, being at Alabama this year, did you guys feel you were the best ever? And he was right away like, no, no, we were good. That's all I'll ever say. But you can't compare eras because eras are different and players are different. And he was so smart about that. You know what I mean? Because most kids would be, yeah, us, we are the best. And they would, disrespect the people from the past or not even know the history of the past because they might be wrong in the whole process. But he skipped over that. And he was so likable, the way he was rooting for his teammates to get drafted, talking about his family and all of that stuff. And remember, the walkout wasn't on it. They had already celebrated, and then that was a second opportunity because the TV was delayed. So then that was kind of the whole play after that. So they had a little fun with that. But everything about Waddle, I got to tell you, man, when that interview was done, I was like, good job, guys. Not only did you get one hell of a player, maybe the second best receiver in the draft in Ja'Marr Chase. I know whatever they say, number one on their board or whatever. But, I'm going to go Ja'Marr Chase 1 and then Jalen Waddle 2. But, again, it doesn't matter to me. But I really like that. The Hunter Long kid I liked. Jalen Phillips is very, very likable on top of all of that. Eichenberg looked like a lunch pail, doesn't mess around type guy. All of these kind of cats, I could see that they're, even Javon Holland, man, I love the way he carried himself. You know what I mean? You could tell that to them, it's important to try to get, if they can, of course, I'm sure they're going to take some chances because everybody takes chances on some questionable guys, in this league. That's just the way it is, and they're no different. But in this draft, it didn't look like any of those guys had any of that kind of baggage, and it looked like they really went after leadership and character and maturity and those kind of things. And I got that sense from this draft class. But, man, Jalen Waddle, I love the draft pick. I love the selection of Jalen Waddle at 6. I love the potential, what he can do on the field, his connection with Tua, all of that stuff. But after that interview, I was like, okay, this kid's wired the right way. This kid was brought up the right way, and being in that atmosphere in Alabama, obviously a competitive atmosphere. But I was blown away by the kid, man. I got to admit, I really like what I saw. I don't know how all of you felt if you've watched. I don't know if you've gone on to YouTube and, log on to the Dolphins and subscribe and watch all the individual interviews of all the players. I obviously did. I watched them a couple times just to see if I pick up extra things on it. And Waddle, fantastic young man. Fantastic young man. I really like him a lot. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, being that you watch both the Hurricanes and the Dolphins, are you kind of surprised with his injury history? Jalen Phillips got drafted in the first round. No, I'm not surprised he got drafted in the first round because of the talent. I'm still kind of surprised the Dolphins took him because of the concussions. You know what I'm saying? But they must feel pretty good about the medical. All the NFL people I talk to, they love Jalen Phillips, dude. Wow, they love Jalen Phillips. Holy crap, they love Jalen Phillips. A lot. I didn't get any of my NFL guys to say a bad thing about Jalen Phillips. Nothing. They couldn't find a damn thing to say about the kid. They whatever happened in UCLA, they kind of like left it behind because of the way he carried himself here and how he played here in Miami. So they all felt like, yeah, the concussions are a little bit of a gamble, but it's been a while, and he's a good kid, and he's smart, and he can clearly play, and technically he's the best defense. That's what everybody kept telling me, that he had the best moves, he had the best understanding of how to play the position. All of those things were brought up with Jalen. I'm telling you, man, every NFL person loved the guy. And the only thing you can get hung up on is the concussions from the past. That's it. That's the only thing. Not a bad dude, none of that stuff. Great dude, actually. Lisa says, I was upset as many of you about not getting Harris, Etienne, or Williams, but I agree with O. When the receivers are scary, it will open up the running game for us. Give it a chance. And then she puts, buy the effing dip. There you go. That's my crypto gal right there, Lisa. Herman says, can I tell you guys Jared Dokes will end up being our top running back? Love what I saw about this kid. How about the hands of Jared Dokes? Holy crap, he made some catches. Right? Man, that kid can catch the ball. Big back, too. He's sneaky quick for a big guy, actually. So I'm rooting for him, obviously, because he's a Dolphin. But or a Dolphin. We're Dolphins. So, yeah, I'm with you. He could be the number one guy, but I wouldn't count out Myles Gaskin. I just wouldn't, man. I love that kid's heart. Mike says Jalen Phillips had the best hand usage of any pass rusher, hands down. His pro day numbers sealed it. Top 10 pick if it weren't for medical history. Mike is 1,000% right about that, by the way. Seriously. If it wasn't for the concussions, he's a top 10 guy. Yeah. And that's how good he is that if Miami didn't take him, somebody would have taken him a couple picks later. Guaranteed. You know? Tuttle says, say what you want about Nick Saban, but he is one hell of a college head coach. Most of these Alabama kids are classy guys and extremely well coached. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Listen, he's gonna have a knucklehead every once in a while that is gonna sneak in there. And what are you gonna do? It's football. Every school has it, but Tuttle is 1,000% right. Most of those kids are disciplined. They're good kids. They work hard. They're good players. They do a really good job overall. Every school, including Alabama and UM and everybody else, you're going to end up with a Mark Walton. Okay? Everybody has it. Right? Alabama has it. LSU has it. Whatever. But Alabama, I will give them credit. They seem to go after, most of the time, intelligent players that are a little bit more mature than their years. Yes, I would agree with that 100%. It's a good point by Tuttle on that one. What else do we have here? See, we got something on the text line, which is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter, and that's at Big O Show. One guy says, you don't cut Wilson till you see what he looks like in camp. I never said to cut Albert Wilson right now. Never said that. Okay? You asked me what receivers aren't going to make it on the Dolphins, and so I gave you my list of guys because some of you are so hung up on Jakeem. So I feel that Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle are obviously in already. Then Devontae Parker and Preston Williams are in, and Jakeem Grant. And then I think Lynn Bowden Jr. becomes your sixth guy. And if you do go to 7, for some wicked reason, it'll be up to Malcolm Perry. It'll be up to, I don't even know, Alan Hearns has a shot, or Isaiah Perry. Yeah, maybe Malcolm Perry, and I don't even know who else. But Kirk Merritt or whatever. Anyway, all those kind of guys might battle for the 7th spot. But those are your 6 guys right there. That's just me. If you, because Jakeem is definitely part of the mix. So I do believe Albert Wilson will get cut. I do believe, Alan Hearns will get cut. Who else? I mean, Kai Loxley, Matt Collins is a special teamer, but I don't think he has enough talent to stay on the teams now. I mean, on the roster now at this point. It's a shame too, right? Because he had a couple of nice plays last year. Big O, listening to your take on the Fins gives me eargasms. Let's get those Lombardis, baby. Dynasty. It's funny, but this is to me where I am like you. I'm loving life. I think this team took another step, and they're going to win 11-plus games, and they're going to get into the playoffs. Now, do I expect them to get to the AFC Championship game? No. Do I expect them to win a Super Bowl? No. But the next stage is to get playoff experience now. Maybe one game, but that's fine. I'm good with that. That's the 3rd year of this. Put it this way. Think about this. Let's say you win 11 games, all right? So now in your 2nd year you win 10, in your 3rd year you win 11, and you get into the playoffs. I mean, come on, man. That's incredible progress, So that gets you ready for that 4th year, which is, I think, the big year for the Dolphins. And that's when you can get the running back. Remember, running backs, you may not even have a second contract with some of these guys. So why spend a high pick on it? You know what I mean? It's developing that line, that quarterback, those receivers. Everything else will open up for the running back. Because it's almost like in this league, you got to pass to run. Back in the 90s, you were running to pass. And it was a different game in those days. But now, they spread you out. The rules allow you to pass like crazy. And I think this year you're gonna see a Dolphins team. Oh my Lord, they are going to be absolutely monsters, man. They're going to be terrors in that passing game. Defensive coaches are not going to want to prepare for this team. Okay? Yes, eventually they'll add a running back. Eventually they'll add a center. But you can't fill every need in these drafts. You're always going to be left over with a position or two, and I think you'll have a lot less next year. And all of a sudden, you know, your draft picks, you'll be set up, and you'll say, okay, now we've got an opportunity to kind of finish out our team with free agency and the draft and make a deep run now for the playoffs. And I think that's why the 2022 season is the year where they make that run, and we all will be in Arizona celebrating a championship. That's just me. I mean, what can I tell you? You know? Make sure you make your reservations for Arizona in 2 years and join us for Super Bowl week out in Arizona. That's all. You know? You ready, Alex, to go to the desert and do a little radio for a week out there?
That sounds like fun.
Well, it's going to happen.
Let's do it.
Oh, we're definitely going to do it. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to end up doing it. Although we'll do it right. We're not going to stay in no Super Bowl hotel or anything like that. What we do is we do an Airbnb. We rent out our own house for like a third of the price that we would pay for the hotels. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. Do the Radio Row and do our own crib out in Zona. Maybe, what is it? What's that? Right by, I went there for the, what was it that I went for? I went for, what was out there? Was it the Super Bowl that I went out there? Yeah, I think it was the last time the Super Bowl was out there. I went out there, and I want to say I went to a terrific cigar bar in Scottsdale. Like a really cool place. I think it's called Scottsdale, which is right there next to where the stadium's at, that one of the cities that's close by. And it was a cool place. So maybe we'll get a crib close to Scottsdale. So we've got the cigar. Well, although if we have our own crib, we could probably hang out on the porch in the back and enjoy a cigar every once in a while. Nothing wrong with that. I honestly think we release Adam. Do you agree we re-sign Mike to a franchise tag or 3-4-year extension? I'm different than Omar on that one. I think Gesicki gets a long-term contract. I mean, I admire the crap out of Mike Gesicki and what he did last year. And when he got injured with that shoulder and he came back and played and he made that catch down the middle of the field, are you kidding me? I am a Gesicki fan, man. He deserves it. I'd like to keep him here. He's athletic. I think he adds a lot to the offense. I don't care that he's not there to block. There's a bunch of tight ends in this league that aren't there to block. And he's one of them. Big deal. That's part of this game. That's the way it is. I don't get hung up on those kind of things. All right, let's take a break. 2 hours are down. We got one more to go. Michelle Kaufman will join us at the bottom of the hour to talk a little bit about Inter Miami. We'll come back on the other side. We'll continue talking a little Dolphins. I got some draft nuggets for you also to share. What the hell is going on with Aaron Rodgers, too? And by the way, Alex, the Marlins are 4-9 in their last 13, brother. Now, I do want to thank Jesus Aguilar because he has helped my fantasy team out in the last week. I think he had
a big week.
I think he has 6 home runs in his last 8 games, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Okay? Kid has 23 RBIs. So, Jesus, muchas gracias. Thank you for my fantasy team. This week, I take on Toast. He's got a game-and-a-half lead on me in the division for first place. So I got to take down Toast this week so I can take over first place in fantasy baseball. We're having a good fantasy week. We're doing good in crypto. We're doing good in our sports because we love our sports teams. And we're doing good in fantasy. We got the bye week in basketball, so I'm relaxing this week. Next week, we get back on the saddle and win another fantasy basketball championship. And we got baseball. I'm battling for first place in the division. So there you go. And life is beautiful, dude. And meanwhile, Ethereum, bull market, baby. Hour number 3 is next.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
If you missed NBA insider Ira Winderman and the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report, you missed this.
Boogie Cousins is the sexy name, but I think they just might as well get someone who is a functional name. They will add another big body. I don't know if it's Boogie, and I'll tell you why, guys. He's been available since February 23rd.
Yeah.
So it's not like 28 other teams haven't had the option as well. That's a little bit concerning to me.
The Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report with NBA insider Ira Winderman, exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnSideRadio.com studio. Call A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
At Baptist Health, we are ready.
To serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way.
With exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health. And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Baseball fans will go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Saturday at 8 a.m., exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
Now Baji in a good pocket of space. Slid it behind, or rather Sapong sliding it for Baji. Baji trying to return the favor. It's cut out the near post there by Shawcross. Sapong was thundering through that area. Took out both Leardam and McCarthy as it is a corner.
Great weekend, man. Excellent weekend. And that was, I know that sometimes a draw, a tie, whatever you want to call it, is boring in our country and those kind of things. I get all of that. But yesterday's tie for Inter Miami, missing their most explosive players, the scoring players, that the guys that put it in the back of the net. And then losing another two guys during that game. Miami had no business even tying that game. None. And last year's team would have lost 3-0. Okay? Easy. Would have lost 3-0 in that one. Michelle Kaufman will join us at the bottom of the hour. Talk a little draft. Just so you'll know, maybe I'll have something for you on the undrafted guys. I wanted to see what the list was, but they got Middle Tennessee State offensive lineman Robert Jones, Indiana defensive tackle Jerome Johnson, and Alabama tight end fullback Carl Tucker. Georgia Tech cornerback Jalen Askew is the other guy that they signed. I'm sure they're going to sign a few more, and I'll try to see if I can dig up any dirt on any of these guys, see how good they are, mediocre or whatever. We'll try to pass that on for you. The other thing, I want to give you a couple of nuggets from the draft. 78% of the players selected came from Power 5 schools. The SEC led it again with 65 players taken from the conference. It's the 15th straight year that the SEC has led all conferences in the draft. Big Ten was second with 44 picks. The ACC was third with 42 picks. The Pac-12 was fourth with 28 picks. And the Big 12 was fifth with 22 picks. So the conference that Miami plays in was third. And I don't think any of you are surprised that the SEC was number one, right? I mean, give me a break. It's almost impossible not to think that they would be number one. Marlins lost yesterday. They got swept, actually. They actually are 4-9 in their last 13 games, swept by the Nationals. Ton of injuries, obviously, is killing them. They're off tonight. Tomorrow, they'll start a set with the D-backs. Sandy Alcantara, baby, will be on the mound. Hopefully he can pick it up. Panthers defeat the Blackhawks 5-4. Duclair had 2 goals. Sam Bennett had 2 assists. Next up will be the Dallas Stars tonight at 7 o'clock. And then they're down to the end of the season. Saturday versus Tampa Bay and Monday versus Tampa Bay will end the season. They've got 73 points right now, tied with Tampa. But Carolina has 2 games in hand, and they lead by 2 points with 75. Doesn't look good for them to actually win the division. I mean, they need Carolina to go completely in the tank and lose all their games, basically. And then the Panthers have got to win their next 3. So they can kind of put themselves in that position. That's kind of what needs to happen. 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. The text line, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123 if you want to get in on the program. Mike says, I think McShay or Kuiper said we took 5 out of the top 60 rated players. That's a haul. Well, I would not be surprised, and I would imagine he's talking Waddle, Phillips, Holland, Eichenberg, and Long. Has to be. So they had high praise for Hunter Long. It's interesting. I'm sure it's not about Larnell Coleman or Jared Dokes. Nothing against those 2 young men, but they're probably not in the top 60 when it's all said and done. And again, I love the Javon Holland selection. I think it's an incredibly important selection. As I told Omar, you're now in a division where you've got to deal with speed receivers. You've got to deal with New England that's got 2 tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen is a mobile quarterback that has done something that I've never seen before, ever. An inaccurate guy become accurate. That I've never seen that. I really haven't. But he has improved 2 straight years. Well, 3, but I'm not counting his rookie year. Last 2 years, he has made significant improvements. That it's been super impressive. His rookie year was not impressive, but it's a rookie. So I throw that out. You know? That to me, the rookie year basically doesn't matter. I kind of give you a break one way or the other. It's years 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 where I need to start seeing you become that player and show consistency. And he did that in years 2 and 3 as he consistently got better. And so if he takes another step, which would be pretty amazing, you're talking about a guy, obviously competing for MVP once again. So that's probably what's going to happen. But I've never seen an inaccurate guy become accurate. And he did that. Okay? Now, I didn't watch a lot of Wyoming football either. I got to be honest. I don't know how many of you are watching Wyoming football, but I am certainly not one. Maybe if Marsh was still here on the station, since he watches Utah, he might watch Wyoming. You know what I'm saying? What do we have here? Hunter Long was the second-rated tight end on the boards. Mike says Big O, correct. Yeah. That's why I'm saying that. And I love Miami's counter to what the Patriots did. Except, the Patriots are having to spend money in free agency and overpay, whereas Miami drafted Gesicki and now drafted Hunter Long. So they can kind of control the salary for several years. That's why when we have Omar on, I told him that, the Gesicki $10 million salary that he gets all bent out of shape with, it's not a big deal because next year all this money from these new TV deals is going to kick in, and it's going to be a sick amount of money. Plus, we'll have full stadiums. We'll have full stadiums this year in some places. So by next year, obviously we expect to be completely full because I would hope most of us are already vaccinated by that time. Okay? And please get vaccinated, man. Don't put yourself at risk. Don't put others at risk, too. Because that's kind of what you're doing when you don't get vaccinated. Let's see. Maybe they can trade Smythe to the Bears. Nice one, Tremolio. I like that because the Bears collect tight ends like it's going out of style. Very good, Tremolio. What else do we have here on the text line? My favorite pick in this year's draft is not the first 4. I actually like Hunter Long, and I honestly think we re-sign Mike to an extension and release Durham Smythe. Yes. Hunter Long is here to take over for Durham Smythe because Hunter can block some. That's the difference. Where Durham Smythe got better as a pass catcher, but he's not where this kid is at. So they want, and I love how they countered the Patriots with the dual tight ends. And, that's what I was talking about with Holland. Knowing that you have the dual tight ends, you need a guy like Holland out there on the field and help you out in trying to cover all those kind of guys. Somebody said that Eric Rowe struggled with certain tight ends. The tight ends that Eric Rowe struggled with are the tight ends that everybody struggles with, those elite ones. Not many people can cover those guys. Sorry, you play a Travis Kelce, you're not covering him. You play a Darren Waller, you're not covering him. Nobody does. Not Eric Rowe, not anybody else. It's really hard to hang with some of those tight ends. There's a couple of those guys that are just impossible to cover, man. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side if you want to get in. It's really simple. 888-441-4623. Text line 844-416-8123. Twitter @BigOShow. Alex Aguirre driving the program. Back with more live from Drive Pink Stadium right here on OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Inter Miami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnSideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
After a 0-0 draw to Nashville on Sunday, Inter Miami end their first road trip of the season, gaining 4 out of 6 points in 2 matches against Nashville and Philadelphia. They go back home Sunday on Mother's Day against Atlanta, looking to keep the momentum up. Phil Neville was working with a depleted squad against Nashville SC as the Higuain brothers and Julian Carranza were out. Pizarro was a doubt and Robbie Robinson was also a doubt, but they both made it. Unfortunately, it seems that Robbie Robinson re-injured his leg, so we will be keeping tabs on that. But for now, 0-0 against Nashville is quite the result.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search OnSide Radio.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodiasDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moodias family. Dr. Moodias is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodiasDental.com.
It's toast. Smartest thing I did last year? Called B&T Windows and Doors and had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house. Listen, it's spring. That means before you know it, we'll be hearing about the tropics churning. That means you need to get your home and family protected today. Call B&T right now and they'll get you installed ASAP with the best in the business, PGT Custom Windows and Doors. 954-233-0126 or bntwindowsanddoors.com. And P.S. Tell them you heard about them on OnSide Radio.
You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Well, in the AFC East, I'm going with the Dolphins with an A+, the Jets with an A, the Bills with a B+, and the Patriots with a B. And the reason why I went with the Dolphins over the Jets address most of their needs to help Zach Wilson out, which is commendable. But the Dolphins address needs for Tua, but also on the defense. They got Jalen Waddle there in the first, maybe the most explosive receiver, but also in the second round, Liam Eichenberg, the tackle from Notre Dame to help Tua. But then they got Jalen Phillips, who I thought was the best pass rusher of the draft, all the way at number 18. It didn't have to reach for him. But then also in the second round, they got Javon Holland, possibly the best safety. So they address needs on both sides of the ball with really, really good players, and that's why they get the edge over the Jets.
I also like
You know, I don't know how to take it, but there's a lot of folks that like the Dolphins draft. I see a lot of the talking heads, and they're giving Miami a lot of love. and it's pretty cool. I like what Miami did with Waddle, with Jalen Phillips, with Javon Holland. 3 J's in your first 3 picks. Liam Eichenberg, Hunter Long, Larnell Coleman, and Jared Dokes. And let me tell you, even yesterday when or 2 days ago on Saturday when I'm watching, and I see Larnell Coleman go from UMass and Jared Dokes, I was like, and then I went and looked at their highlight reels, and I was actually impressed with the young men. I was like, okay, I see some stuff in him. We'll see if any of these guys become impactful players. We can't take it for granted, man. Myles Gaskin has been a contributor. They found Nick Needham off of somebody's practice squad, and the rest is history. Seiler and Preston Williams, and so these guys will find guys late in the draft, or they'll find guys undrafted. Van Ginkel is one in the 5th round. So we can't overlook these kind of things, right? Jason Sanders they nailed as one of their kickers late in the draft. So this is a team that's got an eye for talent, period. So they'll find them all over the place. So today we have our roundtable question. The grades for any draft realistically should be talked about in a few years. Having said that, how satisfied are you with the Dolphins draft, and who's your favorite draft pick? All right, first of all, I give them an A-. I thought they did an excellent job. They addressed several needs. They did not have to necessarily reach like Mark Ross was talking about. You just heard Mark Ross there, former NFL executive with the Giants, the Eagles, and the Bills. He works for the NFL Network now. He was obviously pretty impressed with the Dolphins draft overall. So for me, I look at this draft, and you needed a speed receiver to go with Will Fuller. Fuller's on a 1-year deal. He's not here for a long time. So now you gave Tua 2 amazing weapons. Jalen Phillips, while, the concussions are a little bit of a concern, you cannot be concerned about his play. The kid can play, great energy, technically sound, good character overall. So there's a lot of things to like about. In other words, when you're going pros and cons, right, the pros are outweighing the cons by miles with Jalen Phillips. So sometimes there's a risk at everything. Sometimes it's character. Sometimes it's a lack of talent here or there. Maybe it's a lack of intelligence. Maybe it's really green inexperience. Maybe it's an injury history. Maybe it's concussion. There's always some kind of risk. You know what I mean? Even with players that have never been injured, you could end up with, an injury-prone player in the end when it's all said and done. So there is some kind of a risk, but Jalen Phillips, man, it's worth the gamble. That's what I have to come down to because that's what a lot of people told me. And Javon Holland, safety out of Oregon. They needed it badly. Bobby McCain has been a great soldier for this team, playing that position when he's kind of out of position. So this allows Bobby to get back to his normal position. This allows Miami to have a real free safety that can cover the field, that can cover the tight end, that can play the nickel if he has to. That's why, for me, this is my favorite pick of this draft is Javon Holland. It's easy to say Jalen Waddle because he's going to be the explosive player that gets the touchdowns. It's easy to say Jalen Phillips because he should be the guy getting the sacks and the pressures and those things. But I think Javon Holland is the guy that kind of helps put that secondary together because he's the guy that's going to be the ultimate eraser for some of these guys. And he's got the skill set that he can cover on his own. And I love that, okay? Kid also represented himself well. Liam Eichenberg, Hunter Long is very interesting. So for me, that's why I gave him an A-. And Javon Holland is my favorite draft pick out of this draft because I think he's really going to bring something to that secondary to match the corners that he has to play with on a game-in and game-out basis. Bobby McCain did a good job there. He was a good soldier. He was wearing down. This kid's a bigger frame, better suited for it, and better suited maybe as an all-around player. Okay, that's the other thing. So for me, I love this draft. I love what they did. I think they ended up hitting a major home run, and maybe that's why a lot of people are big into Miami's draft. All right? 888-441-4623 is the phone line. Text line 844-416-8123. Don't forget to hit that like button while you're watching on YouTube. It is very important to hit that like button, man. Really, big time. What else do we have? As good as that first round was, I'm extremely impressed with the second round. They controlled that board. They started the run on safeties and OTs. Big O going hard in the paint for the Fins. I don't want any excuses come start of the season. I don't know if I made any excuses in the past. Walker says he gave it a B. He likes Phillips, Holland, Eichenberg, but Hunter Long was a head-scratcher. I prefer Devonta Smith over Waddle. Not enough action on day 3, but I am not upset about the class. What else? Ragin says A-. My favorite pick is Holland. His highlights are sick. Phillips and Holland will make our defense deadly. I gave the Fins a B+ only because they couldn't get back into the first round to grab Najee, but I absolutely love all their picks, even the 7th rounders. 7th rounders are kind of intriguing. NorCal says Greer, Allen, McKenzie, and Flo working well all together. All started NFL careers as college talent scouts. R.C. Dunn says, hey, agents are pushing undrafted free agents to Miami because of their roster depth. That's a sign of a well-built roster. They can sell their clients on making the team be a lack of depth. Ragin also says, want to say thanks again for the draft coverage last week. I had a great time with my chat homies. Thank you, Ragin. Appreciate you. We had a great time, man. We had a great time. Alex was a slacker. He didn't go. No love for us, Alex. Tell you. No love whatsoever. George Albany says, one thing everyone's overlooking is how much quality depth they've added to this roster. Can't remember the last time I've seen this with a Dolphins team. Amazing job, front office. I tip my cat to you. I'm with you. I do the same thing. All right, let's take a break. Inter Miami with an enormous draw yesterday. Michelle Kaufman, she covers Inter Miami for the Miami Herald. Let's bring her aboard next.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch OnSide Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search OnSide Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review OnSide Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk. Connect with OnSideRadio.com by downloading the Radio.net app. What happens to you after that is not our responsibility. Follow South Florida's sports leader on social media at OnSide Radio. Look at the pics. See the guys, even though you may not enjoy it. At OnSide Radio. Insta at OnSide Radio. All social media at OnSide Radio.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Jam-packed weekend for South Florida sports, starting off with the Miami Heat, picking up 2 wins over the weekend, 124-107 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. And last night against the Charlotte Hornets, 121-111. Those 2 wins propelled the Miami Heat to 6th place in the Eastern Conference. And now they're back in action at the AAA tomorrow night versus the Dallas Mavericks. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. Inter Miami played against Nashville FC yesterday to a 0-0 draw. Inter Miami picked up the point despite being down a lot of key players. Next matchup is on Sunday, May 9th at Drive Pink Stadium against Atlanta United. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. And the Florida Panthers take on the Dallas Stars tonight at home at the BB&T Center. Puck drops for that matchup at 7. The Marlins were swept over the weekend against the Washington Nationals, and they're back in action tomorrow night against the Arizona Diamondbacks at Lone Depot Park with Sandy Alcantara on the mound for your fish. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
Baseball fans will go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Saturday at 8 a.m., exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Howdy, stranger.
Didn't this used to be Radio Town?
Yes, sir. It was Miami Sports Radio Town one time.
Who in the hell are these cowboys I never saw?
We don't know who these people are, riding in from other towns. There used to be a host in every one of these saloons, trying to talk about local matters, sports.
That ain't good, stranger. Could you tell me how this happened?
Well, it started when one corporation bought another, and they got rid of the good management and brought in a bunch of bumbling idiots and started firing all the local ranchers and replacing them one by one with these strangers from out of town.
I've heard that story before. Static and tumbleweeds, I'm moving on.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
Now streaming online.
OnSide Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Now he's going to come on here for a few minutes, and also an Inter Miami debut and a first ever Academy player to step on the pitch for Inter Miami. This is very much the goal of David Beckham and this Inter Miami ownership group, to bring through young players from South Florida, and they will have done so for the first time as Edison Ascona will come on here from the bench, his Inter Miami debut.
All righty, we promised you we're going to talk to Michelle Kaufman, get into a little Inter Miami. Excellent weekend for them considering everything. It was a very impressive draw on the road. Remember, you can follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports and catch her work there at the Miami Herald website like I and many others do. Michelle, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very good, man. Good draft for the Dolphins. Heat are playing a little better. Panthers are headed to the playoffs. Inter looks like a completely different team under Phil Neville. Yesterday, that was a game they would lose 3-0 last year. I was very impressed.
They did lose 3-0 last year.
No, I know. Yeah, you're right. Maybe 6-0 with as many people they were missing yesterday. First of all, the effort by what was left on the roster to go on the road and lose 2 more guys in the middle of that game and still come away with the draw. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think, anybody who's been following this team knows that a scoreless draw on the road at Nashville, considering that they were already missing both Higuain brothers, Robbie Robinson didn't start, Nico Figal didn't start. Those are really key players. And then Pizarro was playing out of position he doesn't normally play. He was also tired because he spent the entire week in Mexico working on his green card. So, the circumstances definitely were not ideal. And you had new players. Ryan Shawcross was starting for the first time for them. And, you had 17-year-old, Edison Ascona coming in, 17-year-old kid, 5'6", 130 pounds out there with grown men. So it was a new collection of players together that haven't all played together before. But Phil Neville, he definitely has this team organized. You know, I watched the press conference with Gary Smith, with the Nashville coach last night, and he said, you know, this Miami side has improved immensely under Phil's guidance and leadership. And he said, you know, especially on the organizational sense, that the team plays much more organized, especially defensive. He said that they made it very difficult for Nashville to get things going. He was very, very impressed with what they did, and especially on the defensive side, that this team had players who could attack last year, but they fell apart on defense a lot, and there wasn't a set system. There was a lot of changes, and yes, there were changes this week with the lineup, but they still played exactly the same way. He's very unwavering in the way he wants them to play, and apparently he's very clear with them. And so, yeah, I mean, guys are coming in who have not played before, and they're doing well, you know, and that's a sign of coaching and togetherness and team spirit for sure.
Yeah, how about Ryan Shawcross? That looks like one hell of an addition for this team.
Yeah, I mean, that's a guy who had pretty much done everything he could with Stoke City. He wanted a new challenge. You know, he didn't really want to go down to the second division, and he wanted a new challenge at this stage of his career. His other option would have been to go into coaching. And he decided he still really loves to play and wants to play. So he liked the idea of coming over here. And, you know, by the way, he played with Breck Shea. They played about a season and a half together at Stoke City. So when Breck went in there yesterday, those two guys have played together. They know each other well, and he said that Breck has actually helped him settle into South Florida, and that he's been a huge help for him to get him acclimated to the team and to the league. So, you know, I think a lot of people maybe don't realize that those two have a connection going back to Stoke City. In 2014 and 2015, they played together over there in England.
All right, so we look at it, and when you start looking at the Robbie Robinson move, and I know he said the kid wanted to play, and they felt he was fit, and they felt they didn't take a chance. But, you know, you and I have been covering sports for a long, long time, and that hamstring injury is something that I don't care what sport it is. The coach will tell you, the trainers will tell you, the players will tell you got to be very careful with that, because then it could become a lingering problem for a long time to come. Did it look like maybe they gambled and they lost on that gamble yesterday?
I don't know. I mean, he said, you know, he ticked every box. They had him run sprints. They were very careful with him during the week. You know, the main thing he said is that Robbie is still very, very, he didn't use the word immature, but he's very inexperienced as a professional athlete. And he was saying that a lot of young, you know, when you listen to Phil, he's a guy who, you know, he spent many, many, many years on Manchester United, and he's coached a lot of different kinds of teams. And when he said, it was interesting to me that, you know, young players don't really know their bodies yet.
Yeah,
they don't know the difference between pain and tightness. And, you know, there is a difference between pain and tightness. And young guys who haven't been pushed to the limit yet are all of a sudden now their bodies are being pushed to the limit in professional sports. And he said it takes a while for young guys, especially rookies and second-year players like him who didn't play much last year, to really understand my body is saying stop, or my body is saying, yes, I can play. And he said that, you know, Robbie was insistent that the original plan was that he was not going to play. He was just going to travel and be there, you know, in the case of an emergency. Maybe they'd bring him in for a few minutes, but his original plan was not to even play him. But Robbie really, really, really wanted to play. You know, Robbie struggled with his confidence last year and everything, and he's really on a roll. He was very depressed that he had to go off the field last week. He's very, very hungry. He's a very, very hungry kid and wants to, you know, Phil Neville has kind of taken him on as a personal project. So he wants to go out there and he wants to prove himself and he wants to make the coach proud and all that. And, you know, he told the coaches that he could play. They put him through the warm-ups. He said he did sprints. He checked every box. They did scans. Nothing showed anything on the scans or anything. And they felt that it was fine for him to play. And he was fine for a while there. He had that one great run where he got taken down. But, he outraced people and didn't pull up on that play. It was on another play, that he did. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's very easy for reporters to sit here and second guess, and fans. When you're the coach and the player says, I can play, I'm ready, they put him through sprints, they have the trainers talking to him all week, working on him all week, and they felt that he could play. I don't know. I'm not going to second guess it. I just don't think we know enough, I don't think we know enough to second guess that decision.
Yeah, listen, I will. Where I give Coach Neville the benefit of the doubt, even though I probably wouldn't have played him myself, but where I give him the benefit of the doubt because he brought that point he brought up about how Robbie still has to kind of learn his body. That's such a good point because, again, I'll go back to the experience you have, the experience I have, being in locker rooms, dealing with players and all that. And it is so true that even, professionals, they get to the NFL and Major League Baseball and all that, and they still don't know their bodies, the young guys, and they're still trying to figure it out. And a great example, I always tell the story of Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor comes out of the Gators, and he has, the first couple of years, he has all kinds of injuries that slow him down. But then all of a sudden, he finds the magic potion, the way to treat his body, and he goes on a run for like 6 years with no injuries. And he has obviously one hell of a career in the process. And that's because I talked to Fred about this, years ago. And he told me, I just learned how to maintain my body. I didn't know how to maintain it earlier in my career, and that's why I would constantly break down. Once I figured out what kind of treatment I needed, what I had to eat, what I had to drink, then I was able to perform at a high level on a consistent basis. So I thought Phil's point was outstanding because I've lived it. I've lived it. I've watched it.
Yeah. I've watched it too. And the thing is, he brought up when you see older guys, he brought up Blaise Matuidi. He's 33,
right. Perfect.
And he's in the best shape. What everyone I've talked to on the team, they say that Blaise is, in the best shape of anybody on the team as far as just physical fitness, and that he is one of these guys, just like you see some guys in baseball or in football or basketball, those older veteran guys who they do stretches, extra stretching a half an hour before everybody else gets there. They do stretching after. They do this. They hydrate. They do, all kinds of, some of them do Pilates, and some of them even do ballet. And, the guys whose careers last a long time, the veteran players who are in their mid to late 30s, oftentimes they're the guys who take the best care of their bodies. And they don't. And the thing is, when you're young, and especially, a guy like Robbie Robinson, he's a guy who relies on a burst of speed. He's a big, powerful runner, and he wants so badly to make an impact on the game, especially after last year. He had a very disappointing rookie season, and he was the number 1 draft pick. You know what I mean? He wants to show what he can do and, what he thinks he can do. And I think he's probably a little overzealous, and when he was, practically begging Phil Neville, please let me play, let me be involved. He did not want to sit on the bench, and the coach trusted him and trusted the trainers from what they had seen, and they did run sprints with him before. Now, Nico, they pulled out because Nico started to have tightening of the hamstrings during warm-ups.
Right.
He was already on the starting roster, and they took him off 10 minutes before. So, I don't think Phil Neville is a guy who's just going to throw players out there. They obviously took out Figal, didn't play him, and he's a very critical player, especially coming off the game he had last week, and especially considering everyone that was going to be missing, to also lose him was a huge loss for them. He's one of the top players on that team. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's easy to second guess. I think I'm going to give the coach and Robbie Robinson the benefit of the doubt and just say that Robbie is, as Phil said, he's a very, very, he used 2 varies, a very, very young 22-year-old. He still has a lot to learn. He's coming from the college system. Most of these players, by the time they're 22, they've been with a professional club since they were 14 or 15 years old. They started at an academy level. All these guys from South America moved away from home at 13, 14, 15, and they've been working in a professional club even if they were on the reserve team, on the youth team, they're in a professional setting from the time they're mid-teens. The guys who go to college here, they're a little bit behind. They're 22, 21 when they're first getting their first professional experiences at 21 years old. So, there's a little bit of a learning curve there, and I think that's what Robbie's going through. But he's very talented. He shows it every time he goes on the field. That guy, looks impressive to me. So I think he's going to, if he follows the guidance of Phil Neville and the other veterans on this team that are helping him, I know Lewis Morgan is working with him a lot. And, even though Lewis isn't old, he's only like a year older than him. But again, he's been in professional soccer in Scotland for several years. And each year of being in the pros is really, really important for these guys. We forget how young they are. And when you see a guy like Eddie Ascona, who clearly is so confident. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but when they were arguing with the ref, he had just come in the game. Here he is, a little 17-year-old little kid, and he jumps right in. He jumps right in and starts arguing with the ref, and one of the Inter Miami players kind of shoved him off to the side like, hey, kid,
Yep.
leave this to the grown-ups. You're not ready for this yet. You're a teenager.
Michelle,
but, that kid also has a lot to learn.
I'm with you there. Michelle, how the hell was that not a red card?
Oh, yeah. Well, again, we asked Phil about that.
Well, no. Hey, listen. I'm not buying crap.
I know he's trying to be. He's trying to be nice to the refs.
He's playing child psychologist, so he could get the call the next time. So
I
know what he's doing already because I've been at it for a long time. But that was a terrible call.
A red card.
Terrible call.
Yeah, it was a red card. He was definitely in a position. He was in a position to have a one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Yep.
In the that exact moment, he had the ball at his foot and was basically facing the goal with nobody else in front of him, and definitely impeded a scoring chance. Absolutely, I think. Yeah, I definitely think I would have given. If it were me, I would have given him a red card.
Yeah, I'm there. All right. Will they get their guys back for Sunday's game against Atlanta?
The Higuain brothers will be back. Their quarantine is 5 days. So assuming they get through the quarantine fine, they arrived back in Miami on Friday. So they've been here since Friday. They just were not allowed to travel because they flew on a commercial flight. Pizarro flew on a charter flight from Mexico, which is why he was allowed to play. But so the both brothers should be back. As far as Nico Figal, Phil said that he thinks it's not serious, that he thinks he would be back in training by the midweek. So we'll see. But again, it's a hamstring. And again,
Yes.
Figal is a guy kind of like Robbie, a big, powerful guy. And those kind of guys, the hamstring is a big part of their ability to run in those bursts. Comes from the strength in their upper legs. But so I think. According to Phil, that wasn't serious. They were holding out as a precaution. The Higuain brothers will be back. Carranza should be because his was an illness. He had some kind of flu, not COVID, but he was feeling under the weather the whole week and didn't train. So I would think, that he should be back. And Robbie, we'll have to see. We're going to have to see what happens with Robbie now.
All right. Follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. More importantly, for you Inter fans, make sure you subscribe to the Miami Herald so you can follow all of her coverage on a daily basis covering La Rosa Negra. Michelle, as always, you are awesome. Thank you for taking some time. Let's see if the boys can pick up 2 wins this coming week.
Yeah, I think this game will be interesting with Atlanta. They have the identical records. They're in 5th and 6th place. They're right there together. Both teams are 1-1-1. Paul McDonough is with Atlanta, so there's a little bit of that, front office rivalry going on. It should be an interesting game for sure, and it's at home. So, they're going to have the Miami crowd, and I know that they were very disappointed that they didn't win in their home opener. So they want to win one for the fans. They definitely want to win for the fans.
Yeah, we're also disappointed that former GM did not take Daryl Dike. All right, anyway, Michelle, thank you. As always, you are awesome. We will see you. We will talk to you next week, and I'll see you probably on Sunday here at Drive Pink Stadium. Be good.
I will be there. It's Mother's Day. I'll be working on Mother's Day.
There you go. You are dedicated. Thank you. There you go. It's so funny because when you get into this business, holidays don't mean jack. They don't mean anything, dude. Nothing. You work no matter what. Those of us that love to be on the I remember when I was really young, which is 30 years ago, and I would fill in for Mandich or Bo Camper or Zagacki on 610, or I filled in for Ed Kaplan at 940 Wins, or I was filling in for Hammer or Mandich or Joe Rose in the at QAM in the early days. I would look forward to Thanksgiving, and I would look forward to Christmas, and I would look forward to New Year's. And yeah, I was working those days because they were going to be off and I was going to be on. And it's funny how, Michelle says it's Mother's Day and she's working, and it'll be your birthday and you'll work. And our business is completely different, because if you're covering a sports team and they happen to be, and they don't take days off either. Like, they have off days, but if the off days happen during a holiday, great. But if they have a game during that holiday, you're covering it. It's just, it's a different biz, man. I'll tell you that. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back for the final segment and the crossover with Alex Dono next.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
Time for a Sports Grill NFL Draft Profile. Hurricanes DE Jalen Phillips. This 6'5" redshirt junior weighs 258 pounds.
Conference hooker escapes and finally is brought down by Jalen Phillips. Another TFL.
A UCLA transfer put it all together at Coral Gables, posting 8 sacks, 1 interception in 10 games during the 2020 season. It's a credit to Phillips, who nearly quit football after wrist and ankle injuries and several concussions. While Phillips has the talent to play defensive end in a traditional 4-3 or outside linebacker in a 3-4 alignment, he is what you call a one-year wonder. It's easy to say as a Canes fan he'll be great. It's a lot harder for NFL managers to put their jobs on the line with this pick. Teams that could select him: Minnesota at number 14, Las Vegas at number 17, Miami at number 18, Indianapolis at number 21, or Cleveland at number 26. Join OnSideRadio.com for NFL Draft Week at Sports Grill in Miami, 11481 Southwest 40th Street, Bird Road, for a 2-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30 p.m. and Friday, day 2 at 6:30 p.m.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
All right, we're back for the final segment. We thank Michelle Kaufman for joining us and Omar Kelly, of course. And Alex Aguirre, great work by you, sir, on your first day here. Already had to deal with an issue and everything. Poor guy had to deal with the phones going crazy on him. But anyway, good weekend for us overall, man.
Oh, excellent weekend.
You know, sports and crypto.
Yeah, Heat picked up a couple of W's. Oh, Ethereum picked up a ton of W's. Yeah, but the Heat picked up 2 wins. Panthers picked up a win on Saturday. I know you talked about it a little bit. Very, very slim chance that they can get first place in the division, but it's still possible, and I'm happy that they clinched their playoff spot several days ago, so that's a huge relief. I thought the Dolphins had a really good draft. We'll talk about that throughout the show today, of course. Inter Miami, something that people need to learn in soccer, that sometimes draws can feel like wins, right?
Well, this was a win, practically.
It
was a loss for them.
It really felt like, exactly, yeah, for Nashville, who are now, they're frustrated as hell because, that team was really good last year as an expansion team.
And all they do now is kiss their sister.
That's right. 3 draws for them to start the year. So Inter Miami, even after having suffered a loss to open the season, have more points 3 games in than Nashville. So I am loving it, and hopefully the reinforcements come back. So, yeah, this was an awesome sports weekend, except the Marlins.
And crypto, bro.
Yeah, crypto, bro.
Crypto, bro. Get on the bandwagon. And last night it crosses 3,000. And now it's at 3,300. I mean,
it's
what
great.
the hell,
I just need Bitcoin to make as big of a jump.
It'll come.
I need all these. All
know
these.
How it does? It consolidates for a little.
It's been consolidating for a long time. I need these cowards who I feel like every time it hits 58, a bunch of these losers, basement dwellers, it hit 58. I'm going to sell all my Bitcoin.
Right.
Be courageous. If you want to sell when it gets to like 100K, fine. Keep it rocking, man.
Yes.
Hodl.
Yes, dude. Come on, man. Hang on.
Bunch of cowards.
Be smart. That's what's happened with Cardano. You don't get frustrated.
Oh,
you hang
I know.
in there.
I know.
And eventually you'll go. Hey, I was like that with VeChain when it was stuck between 7 and 7.6 and 9 cents.
So do you know what?
I kept loading up, and then it took off now, and it's been in the low 20s now.
I think
it'll move up later.
I'm learning these last week that I think that the Ethereum investors are the smarter investors, because a lot of people get into Bitcoin because it's trendy, and then they're like, oh my God, I made a couple $100. Let me sell all my Bitcoin. Where the Ethereum crowd knows I'm going to let it ride, baby. So I think the Ethereum crowd are the smarter investors. The Bitcoin crowd are a bunch of bandwagoners who hopped in, who said, oh, let me make a few bucks this weekend. All right, I'm going to cash out.
I've been telling you for a while that Ethereum is the better investment for you right now. Bitcoin is the better investment 20 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
But Ethereum over the next 5 to 10 years is probably the better investment, because it needs to skyrocket. And it's going to skyrocket, maybe not as much as Bitcoin, but it will move faster to a higher level, which it already has.
It has,
In 10 weeks, it doubled.
Yep.
Because you could have bought it somewhere in the 1,500s to low 1,600s, and now it's at 3,300. So do the math. You doubled your money already. And those of us, and remember, it went to 2,051.
Mm-hmm.
Then it dipped back down to 15,600. And then it consolidated at 1,700 for several weeks.
Yep.
And it was frustrating. And it kind of
it
what
was
we're doing.
What's going on? Why is it not moving?
It's what we're doing with Cardano right now.
Yeah.
And it's what VeChain is at now, starting this last week. But these are the stages that you kind of go through with some of these companies. And eventually it'll bust out. So, yeah. And eventually these will bust out, and then obviously we will be winning again. What do you got going on today?
Oh, so much. We're going to have our winners and losers from the week. We're going to talk NFL draft, Miami Dolphins, and some Canes with Jakari Givens in the 3 o'clock hour. He's always awesome. We're going to talk some Panthers with Dave Dwork. We're going to chirp the Cats. We're going to talk some Inter Miami with Austin Robillard. And I also, I have to celebrate the lucky mask, because you helped bring us a championship. Inter Milan confirmed. Their championship was confirmed. They won it with 4 games to spare. So we're going to celebrate that a little bit today.
The power of the mask.
The power of the mask, my friend. So we have a lot going on. And, of course, Alex Aguirre is going to be riding shotgun.
Small positive from COVID.
Yeah, that's right. The power of the mask.
If not, we don't need the damn mask. All right. Hey, y'all out there, thank you so much for tuning in, for smashing the like button on YouTube. Do the same thing now when Donald starts his feed on YouTube. Alex, excellent work by you. Love you all out there. Make sure you subscribe to all of our podcasts, whether it's Toast, Kai, Dono, myself, all the weekend guys like David Dwork, who do an excellent job, and Austin Robillard and Sean Stanley and Alex and Chase, who do an excellent job with their Marlins and baseball coverage. And this Thursday night, is the debut, baby.
Yes, Fight Night.
Fight Night is on Thursday night, 7 to 9.
Can't wait.
With Alex Dono. So make sure you're tuning in every Thursday night for the best combat show in the business. So that starts on this station on Thursday night. And more to come. We're working. I'm constantly working on trying to create more programming here on the station, more sports programming too, if we can. We'll have maybe some guy talk down the line and stuff like that, some fun shows. But eventually we're going to add more sports shows. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned. Alex Dono and the man of the match next.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Dono.